Yo, my computer died. So sorry.
Okay.
It's all good.
Hmm?
What's going on, everybody?
Chilling, man.
It's good, family.
Live. Hold on, wait a minute. I bear with me, the computer shut down. Let me get this proper real quick.
I'm already like wait upset because I can't find a hat to go with my new shirt. Y'all taking away from my hat shopping.
Yo, Quezzy, sent okay.
Nah, I got one being ordered, man. It's gonna be all white with this turquoise and snakeskin. You know, I keep a hat. It's just in the shop right now, nigga. Bullshit.
Like he said, it's in the shop. Can you hear me good or is it still?
Yeah, I can hear you. You still got a little bit of echo. How mine sound?
All right, so we got Pete,
It
Big
sounds like
Pimpin'.
Quezzy got an echo.
Okay, you
Quezzy,
hear me?
mute yourself for a second. Yo, is that echo still there? Yeah, it's still there.
Got like that little bit of feedback. Not really feedback, just
Yeah, I'm muting
like a humming
myself.
or hissing sound like that.
I think that's Oak's joint. 'Cause,
Yeah, it's when he came in.
like, mute yourself, Oak.
Hey, Mitchell, am I echoing? Yeah, I'm echoing on somebody's computer.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't hear my echo.
Who was it? He knew it.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So who was it? It was Oak.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this started, y'all. We
Maybe I
got
think
Pete on
you
the
got
stage.
I think your headset. You got your headset. See if that works. I need to buy me a new head. I thought I had one, but apparently I don't.
Y'all ready?
Yeah. I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Into it, man.
I done introduced Pete about 3 times.
Oh, my bad. You know, we technical difficulties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, let's go on with the show, y'all. Like I said, we got Pete on the scene. Big Pimpin'.
You already know, gorilla style. You gotta play some New York shit. How you be playing? You gotta play some New York.
But you Big Pimpin', man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you know, Brooklyn. You gotta play Jay-Z.
Oh,
Brooklyn,
yeah.
you know hard.
Yeah. You know, y'all New York niggas, y'all loyal. Y'all loyal in New York.
You already know, man. Come on.
All right, we got you there, brother?
Work through them Boost Mobile kinks.
Okay, well, we got Oak on the scene, you know, the top tolerologist. And when he has tolerologist, you know,
All right, let's get it.
There we go.
you know, he don't like them
You got
tolerologists.
we got to talk to you about the DJ, man. You know, Oak gotta get drill music. That's that Shy Town shit.
Nah, nigga. Oh, got his own theme song, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, this
I'm
is
like,
what
I'm
I
gonna
play
get
for
you
Brooklyn.
sucker.
Hey, you know, we got y'all we from Chicago too. You know, I had something for him today, but we started so cool because I ain't know the time change, you know what I'm saying? I had a new song for him, you know,
Yeah.
especially from Chicago, but
Yeah, you
he gonna
sound
come to the
real.
rest.
You sound.
He gonna come to the Alchemist. He gonna come to the rest of the day.
Come on, man. Let's get it. We gonna get it, man. Y'all killing time. I'm already mad. I ain't got no hat. I gotta hit the streets, man. Just got a haircut. Now you got me putting headphones on, man. I'm getting. Got my cousin blowing me up because he decided to leave his wife, but ain't got his fucking move-in money. So now he calling me like crazy, talking about cash out his deposit, nigga. Like I'm left my wife. So look, come on, man. Let's get this popping.
All right, I'm gonna fly. bow tie
Hey,
guy.
Black,
We
you
about to get
sound
this
far
on the
away,
party.
man.
Yeah, you sound far away, Black. You might have to put yourself on mute, until you gotta come in. Because
I
the
sound
way
what?
you sound far away. We
Sound
barely
far
can
away?
hear you, so you may have to put yourself on mute while
Boy, you might have to put some
until you're ready to
headphones
come
in.
in.
Yo, this nigga sending me cash app requests and shit for his rent money. This shit crazy.
Can you hear me right now?
Or just ask
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you. You just sound far away.
I still sound far away?
That's better.
your-
That's better right there. A little bit better.
All right, let me put the mic closer again. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all hear me?
yeah, man.
All right, let's go.
Something wrong with the French connection.
Let's go.
What's up with the French connection? It ain't connected.
Man. It's that same time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we back on the show with Black Men Can't Deal because black women want to leave.
Yeah.
This is round 2. We was going at it last show. And
Did you introduce
looked
Star? I don't think Star got
like
her.
nobody didn't want to finish what they were saying, so we gonna give it to you again. The show the people by popular demand wanted the part 2. Here we are.
All right.
Hey,
Star, you were telling me you got something to say. Let's start off with 2 because you said you had something to say.
who?
You. That's what he said.
Hey, Black, you didn't introduce Star, man.
You gotta introduce Star, man.
That's because Oak messed up the rotation, man.
Okay, mess up the rotation. You gave me the wrong theme music, nigga. I'm your goddamn it, friendly neighborhood superhero. I got my own theme music and everything.
I'm Star. That's
You
it.
got to turn and get Star on the scene.
Come on, let's get it cracking. So you the MC, man. What we talking about, Quasi?
Let's get to it.
Let's get into it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask the question again. When black men can't build because black women want to leave, right? So what's stopping the black man from building because he wants to leave?
Who's should answer first?
Either you or folks, dirty folks.
All right, check it out. I'm gonna answer this though, because I just had this argument on social media earlier today. I don't know how many ways pro-black dudes is gonna be cowards, right? So I tell them, man, goddamn it, man, I'm gonna start my own shit. Just 50 people, man. We gonna make it do what it do. They say, man, the government gonna kill y'all 50 people. I said, oh, for real? So they gonna kill me if I try up. But I'm safe to go by myself to Madison, Wisconsin to find a white girl, or go to another country and find some Brazilian chick. I said, man, I don't know how many ways y'all gonna run away instead of just beating up your toddlers, man. I don't understand. So
She's trying to plug it in back there.
ain't nothing really stopping except niggas ain't got the heart to do it.
And y'all blame me, but it's all right.
You got a response to that? Peter,
Go ahead, Pete. Let Pete respond to that.
Yeah. Well, somebody had posted this, and it says it was to women. You hate the black woman. You hate patriarchy, but mad that men are not building and providing for you. You are an idiot at best. And that shit is real talk. You know what I'm saying? We know the black community is a matriarch, right? It's ran by women. It has been for the last 50 to 70 years, and look at what we have.
You know what though? I don't mean to cut you off, and I don't even want to give Vaughn a talking point. But here's the thing, bro.
You know me.
It's run by women, but it's enforced by men. So I have to kill them first. You know what I'm saying? I have to kill her too, cause she can't live and he died. I'm not gonna be in jail and he in the in the ground. It is definitely fair. Here's the thing.
I'm saying it ain't fair to cut him off because you saving it.
I ain't saying because this a second show, man. We gonna do something else because Star had better talking points anyway. Check this out. All I'm saying, and shout out to Star, but this is the last time I do a show with a girl too with a top on, man. Because I don't even talk to girls with clothes on normally. I just gave her a pass. Look, all I'm saying, bro, is that it is what it is, bro. Like when niggas move, how niggas move, and that's just life, bro. If you talking about every time I say let's move, niggas say what about the women? I'm like, what about the women? They spoils of war, nigga. Win a war. You know what I'm saying? So nobody give a fuck about girls. Girls don't give a fuck about girls. Girls don't know what the fuck they saying, what they doing. They just do shit. They hit the wall. You Nobody give a fuck. When guys ready to build, but they want to be rewarded and they want coochie rewards instead of the power rewards because they raised by women and they don't understand power. They think money is power, so they give money to women. But yeah,
Hey man, when you say,
Can I respond?
Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
I was referred to as a girl. I'm a woman, grown woman.
all right. Tell you what, I apologize for calling you a girl. I'm not gonna call you a woman though. I'll call you a toddler, but I ain't gonna call you a
I'm
girl.
not a toddler either. The thing is,
I
listen,
love toddlers.
excuse me, Mr. Vaughn and Black. Listen, I am usually in dialogue when there's respect reciprocated on all ends, and I have probably my stepdaughter watching. I have family members watching. I'm not in a position to be disrespected. I have not disrespected anyone. The thing is, the last show, I really just kind of just sat back and just, thing is, I haven't done anything to warn it. The problem is, and I'll say this and I'll go. The thing is, there are women who are judged for what the hood rats are doing. In every other society, they don't loop everybody in one. So the thing is, unfortunately, me being a melanated woman, in many cases, I and many other women are looped in one group. That's not the case.
Can I chime in on that, Star? Real quick.
And
Like
then we
you
get
said-
disrespected, and the thing is, I'm not.
But look how
I'm
us
sitting
as
here with my
black-
husband and my children. I'm a family woman, so I don't deserve that. So
I
the
wanna
thing is,
turn- Oh, go
I
ahead.
think that's
and
fair.
Pete, you're going to let me speak. So what I'm saying to you is, I am a woman. I am due respect. I have given everybody else respect. I was asked to be here to be as a feminine voice, but the thing is, I'm not against any of you guys. I normally agree with a lot of the things that Pete say. I agree with some of the things even Oak has said, but the thing is, even in my agreement, I'm still seen as an intellectual inferior just based on my gender and the color of my skin, perhaps. And I'm not going to continue if that's going to be what happens throughout the duration of the show.
Rebuttal. First of all, when I addressed you directly. I said your Star had better points anyway than Pete. What I said is that I don't normally talk to girls with clothes on. Now, you are already an exception because you're on a show. If you want to lump yourself in with girls, that's fine. But I said what I said and I meant what I said, but that wasn't directed towards you. It was a general statement.
And can I say
All
something
right,
about gender?
that makes sense to you? That fine with you, or you still feel some type of way?
The thing is, toddlers don't have pensions. Toddlers don't sell real estate. Toddlers don't get married. If I felt in my heart that that's what I was, then of course I would be offended. But I'm just saying for other women that are listening who are probably disdained right now, like, damn, really that's what we are. No. I am a wife, a damn good wife. I'm a damn good mother. I'm way more than whatever a toddler is supposed to be. I have toddlers. I have a toddler sitting right across from me right now.
To play fair, there's a bunch of male toddlers too. There's a bunch of immature people in our community, male and female.
Now, I think just in keeping with, just being respectful of the guests that we invite on the show. If any guest, but particularly in this case, Star is, offended by something, I think that, I don't think it's asking too much to accommodate, in that regard. I don't think she's asking too much, but it's still, you still get to refer to women in general as toddlers, but I think, I don't think that what she's asking is unreasonable.
That is not my goal to try to change his opinion. He's a grown man. He's entitled to that. If whatever I give, I would like that reciprocated. That's all.
Well, two things. First, let's make peace with the Joe Biden crack pipe. You know what I'm saying? Since that's what, all blacks are going to get out of this deal, right? Second, you made a statement about grouping everything together, right? Or grouping all women together. Well, that's what happens when black men are grouped in, right? Generally, and this is Vaughn because he do it all the time.
No, I
He
don't.
take the top 20% of women and compare them to the bottom 20% of men, right?
No.
And I'm taking it,
Absolutely
you're
not.
right. And so we'll be like, oh, but black men are this or black men are that. You know what I'm saying? Because they group this together. Many women have, right? Niggas ain't shit. Black men don't do this. Da 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 da. And when you have a dude like Kevin Samuels who came out and started showing the proof in numbers, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, but we're still grouped together, right? Talk about, oh, black men are broke. Well, only 20% are in poverty, right? 80% or 65% are middle class to high. I won't say high, but lower from middle class to high class, and then probably about the other remaining 10% or whatever is in elite status. You know what I'm saying? So when women around here saying, I can't hear nothing. Oh,
No, you good.
I'm good. Okay. And women around saying, "Oh, men are broke," this, that, and the third. They group all black men together, and it has been for the last 5 to 7 decades. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. You have a handful of women that are, prominent, holding it down, married, following the patriarch system, but you have the majority who are not. You know what I'm saying? In all age levels. And so when he calls women toddlers, I agree, because I see women 40 years old. Some of my exes, some of women I know personally, they're out there doing TikTok dances and busting it. And I'm like, yo, you 40, you somebody's mother. You know what I'm saying? You want me to respect you as a mom, but you're out here shaking your ass, showing your titties, doing all this shit like nothing of value. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right? And I'm like, it's not even like family oriented. You remember the mannequin challenge where everybody was like frozen? Like, that was dope because families involved, was the holidays, but all this shit, they be doing all these dumbass dances. I'm like, yo, you 40 years old. And I'm like, what is it you're trying to build? What platform you trying to build from that? You can't say I'm doing it to gain this. A lot of times it's just as advertised, and they just want to show I'm available. I got titties, I got ass, and I got a pussy. And I think I look like I did when I was 20. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. So yeah, Oak right when he say toddlers. You know what I'm saying? And if you and here's the thing, you got to see. I
don't even associate with women like that.
Yeah, but
I know they exist. I know they exist.
But see, we're talking in general, right? And so just because that's not who you claim to be or you don't deal with them doesn't mean that the world doesn't deal with them. And we as black men, you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? So you're only going to deal with, unless you on that level where you deal with women on a relationship type of shit. But we are men and we got to deal with black women. You know what I'm saying? On some trying to relate and be in relationships with. You know what I'm saying? So the point of this is can we build? We can't build because of that. Not saying we got to build exclusive from it, because there's no way you can build a matriarch system when people are still a patriarch system when people are still trying to fight to keep shit matriarch.
But see, right? what the thing is, when I feel where women felt collectively is the challenge for us is to get past our emotions. We can't make decisions only using our emotions. There has to be logic there. So the thing is, I don't agree with the behaviors that you just spoke on. That's input output. Whatever they're inputting in here is what's going out. It's algorithm. So you listen, you see the music. You hear the music, you see what they're watching. And I'm talking about the groups that are doing this. And sadly, that overshadows the ones that are in my circles who don't do this shit. I don't.
There's way more, and now you can see why we say toddler, right? Because
wait a minute, wait. Stop. Are you sure the women in your circle don't do this? Here's the thing, because people blame music, algorithms, social media. You do know we all have mothers, aunts, sisters, neighbors. We all went to school with girls from pre-K all the way to college. We know women, right? We've met women on a multitude of levels, not just intimately, but just socially, right? You understand that, right?
I was raised by a hoe.
So I know a lot of professional women that's toddlers and shit. My niece, and I love my niece to death, but I'm going to buy her first cat. her and her doctorate degree and her control issues. I'm about her first cat. And I told her that. I told her I love her. She said, how can I find a husband? I'm like, shit, you missed him in undergrad, nigga. Like, I'm gonna buy you a cat. So it doesn't matter the socioeconomic status. It doesn't. Because how women relate to women is all lies anyway. And then they go and then somehow they end up going to work or going to their boyfriend and coming back with a story. So, I'm just asking, sure.
Just going back to the theme of the show. What was it again? Black men can't build because black women want to lead. And I just kind of want to go back to that for a second. A couple things I want to address. One, I do not lump all black men in together or this whatever number of people out there. I'm a black man or a so-called black man, classified as a black man, whatever you want to call it. So that shit is nonsense. And I don't even remember what else he said. It was so nonsensical that I couldn't even hold it in my head for very long. But let me say this, man. This idea that black men can't build because black women want to lead is really trying to be kind. So I'll just say it's nonsensical. It's illogical. And I'll say this. Even if you go back as far as you want to go back to America, post-slavery, post-1865, anytime black men did build, the reason that building was discontinued was not because black women wanted to lead. It's because non-black men tore down what was built by black men. So if black men can't build, it's because they couldn't protect what they built. They couldn't defend what they built, or I should say we, or our ancestors. We could not defend adequately what it was that we built. It had nothing to do. Hold on. Let me rock. It was not because black women magically wanted to step up and they got in the way, and now all of a sudden we can't build. So I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it from a factual standpoint, not this emotional shit that we're so tied up to our disappointment with black women that all of a sudden they get blamed for all of the ills that we're dealing with.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was the reason that most of those towns were destroyed and most people were lynched?
Economics.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Most of the men that were lynched were business owners. They were not just random brothers that were walking the street. They were lynched because they were economic competition.
They were prominent.
What began the riots?
Say again?
What was the reason for every riot except the Chicago riot in 1919? What was the catalyst?
Well, I think the undercurrent was the competition, like I spoke on. Now, what was used as an excuse was oftentimes there was a white woman who was violated or something like that. So that was the false flag, if you want to call it that. Those were the early false flags. But at the foundation of it, though, was the jealousy that poor whites were experiencing or were feeling based on the success that black people were having despite our so-called disadvantages. That's my 2 cents. What say you?
What do I say?
Yeah.
I'll say that is a reason or two.
Okay. What else?
Most attacks, like I said, when you're talking about major riots, most major riots, with the exception of the Chicago riot of 1919 and the Trail of Tears, right? Mm-hmm. Trail of Tears was just totally racist, and so was the riot of 1919. Those were economic.
Okay.
From all the things that I saw, and I'm not saying that black business owners didn't get lynched. The lynching happens in a different way now with a bunch of liberals and aldermen.
Yep.
But most of the time, the catalyst that was used was a woman.
Yep.
Because when you don't have anything, the most important thing to you is a woman.
I'm locked with that.
The reason that I think it was the title of this podcast is a misnomer is because I don't believe that women do want control. That goes without saying. but I don't think they prevent anything. I think that a man's desire to please black women that don't even like them is the catalyst that you can't build.
You say that the men don't like the women, or you saying the women don't like
The
the
women
men?
don't like the men, they just blame it on men. The fact that if I say Tyler's gonna title, there's guys who's in my inbox, there's guys who see me at events, there's guys who ask me for help, there's guys who help me anonymously that say, man, Oak, I can't take pictures with you in public because black girls don't like you. I'm like, the same girls say they don't like me, fuck me. Like, you know, girls just say shit, they don't know shit, they just do shit. But they believe that if you upset the pussy, then life ain't gonna be right. They don't have the sacrifice from girls that don't even fucking like them to be like, you know what, I'll disassociate myself. Niggas have been marching for 70 years because nobody wants to listen to a 7-year plan.
Well, oh, now if I was where you at, I wouldn't have no problem taking a picture with you. But I think one of the differences is that the men who are concerned about taking a picture with you or being seen with you, they're a lot more fragile, a lot more psychologically fragile, maybe even lacking in the, if you want to call it the alpha category or whatever. So they don't really, they're not able to really stand on what they really feel or what they really believe without being concerned about the backlash from the woman. I don't have that concern. And you can clearly say what it is that you feel, and you can still go out and get what it is that you feel like you want to get from women. So I think there's levels to this. There's different categories of men, and there are those of us who are able to stand on what it is that we think and feel without fear of repercussion from our women. And then there are, which I think is the majority of men, who are not able to stand on that.
I want to clear some up, right? I want to clear on what the topic is and what it means, right? So it really was derived from the whole thing of Ice Cube, right? When he got on the show with a panel full of women, one I think was Vivica Fox, one was Selena Johnson, one was Lisa Ray, and one was some other light-skinned chick, right? And as he began to talk about the contract for Black America, you know what I'm saying? The first thing they was talking about was, well, what about black women? Now, the plan was inclusive of everybody. And if anything, it helped black women the most because it would give more protection in the neighborhood, stuff like that, the things that black women are concerned with, right? But the moment you try to build and give men power on a large scale, the first interruption is women, is black women, right? Obama wanted to start a school for boys, right? Which would have helped because we know when boys are in school, right? And we've seen it in charter schools that they have excelled. They had the highest rate. When you commingle them, they have the lowest rate of success, right? You look at it in everything that's done. It's always, well, what about the black woman? What about the black women? They don't even give time for the black man to build before they want to be exclusive and dealt with like, well, what about ours? What about ours? That's wanting to lead.
But,
and then
but
these
see,
Now that's the one to sabotage. But
there's
Well,
another
yeah.
part to it. There's another part to it here in Sacramento, because I have 4 sons. My sons are a part of a program called IYT, All Brotherhood, all for black males, Hispanic males, and I participate as far as I support them. Never have me and a few other mothers who never was like, hey, what about the females? They've never did the female chapter. It's only been males. So my point is, you're right. That shit really happens. Those are the women who are easily bamboozled. And we talked about that last week. These are the ones that went out marching and buying the pearls and chucks.
Right,
Yeah.
which is 90%. Here's the thing. Hold on, let me finish. 90% of black women voted for Biden. So when they didn't even go to the black men and say, "Hey, where's the lead?" Because the first thing they tried to do was attack Trump. Oh, you voted for Ice Cube. Or you voted for Trump. He said, "Look, I didn't say I'm sponsoring anybody. He's just saying I went to both collectives with a plan, and they were ready to tell him who he shouldn't be." Well, how does allowing him to build something? You're trying to lead him by telling him who he should vote for. You know what I'm saying? But I say this: me dating or talking to women, the conversation get into politics, I lose them because they quick to tell me Biden this, Biden that, Biden this. I tend to tell them Trump this. I ask them to break it down. They
Okay,
can't.
what is their literature? What are they reading? What's their
Look,
circle?
all I'm saying is that at the end of the day,
What the hell is Haberdasher King talking about?
the
I'm just
majority
saying, whatever their interest is, that's what the hell their mind's
right,
gonna be
but
on.
here's the thing: if 90% of the black women vote was for Biden, they are all reading the same shit. There's no
Exactly.
way, right? So here it is. If I am as a man going out to build and date women, I have a 10%, really 9%, because only 9% voted for Trump, 1% went, the middle, right? I forgot what independent, right? So I have a 9% chance of connecting with, for every 100 women, I can only connect to 9 because someone who voted for Biden, their mindset,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it never fails. The argument is the same. Oh, he's a racist. He's like Hitler. Like it'd be like no context and nothing. And I'd be like, well, let me break this down because I know more about him and being from New York, all of that. So my point is, by them going out, they chastise any man coming in with an opposing, like, hey, let's build. I'm talking about a large scale. That's cool. Yeah, your son got this and this. We gave up $500 billion. That's $500 billion because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we know it's other factors, but the energy that black women put into getting Biden and okaying, even if we know it was stolen, that's the mindset. And that's what we got to fight with. So how can I build with a woman that I'm a conservative? I think more on the Republican end, and I'm talking about Trump was the one, and she want to cry Biden. We're going to conflict. And the reason why, let me finish. The reason why I'm saying that is it's a liberal mindset that says let the woman lead, let the woman be equal. And so when a black man is trying to build and lead, she got to always come in the way. And this is the majority of women. So how many women are black men left with to even consider that? And everybody act like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because building for a black man is not necessarily monumental, right? That's the thing. We be like, oh, build this big monumental situation or whatever. What Ice Cube did was monumental, but small aspects, right? A family is the first sign of building. You can have your level of wealth. You don't have to be Jeff Bezos. There's only 1% of people that's going to reach that. But it doesn't mean you can't make mid, high, or even low 7 figures and be comfortable with your family and your community and everything you're doing. And that's just building. You don't need to be.
But here's what we're getting into. And I believe Oak mentioned it earlier. People just got to find their own groups and tribes. And I don't think that should even be defined by color. My tribe is not defined by color. It can't be. It's defined by intellect and by need.
So, Vaughn, what do you say on that? Because you always argue me about, got to be with a black woman.
No.
So she just said it.
I mean, and it took how you mischaracterize what I say. I say my preference. Can I finish?
No, but you my preference.
My preference is black women. I think that the best opportunity for the overwhelming majority of black men to find harmony is with the black women. Now, you can disagree with me. That's fine. But you got to do you. I can't police what you do in your bedroom or who you decide to rock with. That's my preference, right? And so, if somebody asks me what I think, that's what I'm gonna tell them. But I can't tell you what you need to do or what you should do. You got to do what you do. But here's what I will say: when you just going back to that point that you made about Ice Cube, you got to keep in mind, man. We got to stop thinking that what we see on TV is real. These people are actors. These people are being paid to present a certain perspective, right? And so when these women come on, who's writing these women's checks, man? And if you find out who's writing these women's checks, who's paying these women, then you'll find out why they're opposing what Ice Cube is saying. They might not even genuinely mean it. I don't know how to even measure that. But what I am saying though is that we got to stop buying into what we see on TV and then ascribing what we see on TV to all black women or the majority of black men. I mean, it's nonsense because you don't know these people.
Okay, I know. Okay, let's go back voting thing. And I was with you too. My fetish is black girls too, but I won't say they harmony.
I
But the
said
fetish,
best chance at harmony. I didn't say that they are.
I don't even know that. But here's the thing: if I go off of preference, right? When you start talking about preferences, and I think, and I don't really, I'm not making it political, but we can talk about the preference of what black women as a majority like based on voting habits, right? People forget that black women voted for Hillary Clinton in a large amount. They didn't vote they didn't vote for Barack until after Hillary lost. Thank God for white women. And then all of a sudden, they still didn't know his policy because Obama didn't have a policy. It was like, but he got a black wife, so that's why they voted for him.
Oh, hold on.
What?
I want to put this out there. Are y'all reading the private chat? Read the private chat. Go ahead. Oh.
All right. So then, black women in Alabama took so much pride in taking out a racist politician and replacing him with a known pedophile, and was like, well, pedophilia better than racism because they don't care about the kids. Then Trump wins. 57% of white women voted for Trump, which is the exact amount of white women that are married. And white women won Trump the election. 13% of black men didn't vote for Hillary. That didn't mean they voted for Trump. A lot voted Green Party or Libertarian. They just didn't vote for Hillary. And black women said, even though that 87% of black men voted for Hillary, they said it was black men's fault. Those 13% that Hillary didn't win. There is no time in life that it's not men's fault. You keep thinking they're your friends. These not your fucking friends. Then you turn around and you say, yo, Biden wrote the crime bill. Biden is in topless limousines with Ku Klux Klansmen. Biden is telling you you're not black if you don't vote for him. Biden is telling you, man, I'm not even gonna listen to anything y'all got to say to me unless I win the election. He's not even taking your calls. And they like, well, Trump said, but he grabbed him by the pussy. Shorty, I'm at the club with you. I grab you by the pussy. That's how you dance. Look at any Jamaican video. They beat each other up. It looked like some type of assault case. But it doesn't matter, because if it's a chance for black women to do the dumbest thing on earth and be wrong consistently and loudly, they will do it. There is no upper level to tolerance.
No upper level.
Well, let me say this too. Again, just going back to the reason that we vote 90%, or about why women vote 90% liberal.
What's going on, Internet land? I want to send a reminder to Cash App Tribe Power and donate some love to these gentlemen that's giving their time and their passion. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, I think when we look at what influences our voting preferences, right? 90%, you say 90% of black women vote liberal or Democrat. I think that the number of black men that vote Democrat is probably not too far behind that number, right? And then when you think about, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's probably within 10% of that. And just about all of the black men that I know, the overwhelming majority of them vote Democrat, right? And so there's a small, I think when you look at how many of us are willing to vote conservative or even libertarian or something other than Democrat, I think that small percentage is representative of what we might consider free thinkers or something to that effect, right? And if you look at the scope, the landscape of the American population, most people are not free thinkers, no matter what the ethnic group is. Most people are sheep. Most people vote they go with the flow. They vote in the direction that their so-called leaders or even misleaders tell them to vote. So even though you got all these white folks that voted for Trump, they weren't voting for Trump because of his policy. They were voting for him because he was Republican. The end, right? And so, because even when I talk to the white folk that I talk to about the different policies that Trump was standing on, they aren't even as in tune to what the three of us discuss between me, you, Oak, and Pete. The things that we might discuss about Trump, they're not even privy to that. They're not even aware of that. They vote because it's red, not because they're aware. So when you look at the people that are paid to tell us which way to vote, the religious leaders, the people that we hear on the radio, the people that we see on TV. These are the people that are influencing our vote, and none of them give us a counter voice to challenge what it is that the Democratic or what the status quo is for the direction that we normally vote. So naturally, the overwhelming majority of us are going to vote Democratic or liberal because we're not. Again, most people are not free thinkers. I would say free thinkers are somewhere less than 10%, and that's probably going to be reflected in the amount that vote for Trump.
You know what?
Not because black women are leading or none of that other shit that y'all.
You know what? Here's the thing. No,
just don't make a lot of sense.
No, here's the thing, because I don't even think that's true. As a matter of fact, I think it was true though. I think if you say anything before 2018, it was true.
What was true?
What you just said about black men voting Democrat because it's just a brand. People vote on brands. You know, minstrels love brand names. That's really how Trump got in, because Trump had brand name appeal. But here's the thing. Obama destroyed the Democrat Party for black men. Black men ain't caring about Democrats no more. People who were never into politics, never into leadership, never into anything. After Obama left, was like, yo, the worst thing that could have happened to the Democratic Party is giving them a black president.
Man, I'm telling you right now, I can't speak for you and who you interact with, but I'm telling you, most of the brothers that I interact with, most of the ones that I know and talk to, they were not rocking with Trump. It's a small percentage of brothers that I talk to. I'm talking about men that are even willing to consider Trump as a healthy alternative to what the Democrats are offering. Because they bought into that whole he racist thing.
Okay, so go ahead, Star.
Because California's so fucked up, people here, the free thinkers, they were all for Trump just based on policies, because the way California looked, you could tell Democrats fucked it up really bad. That's why we're fleeing. So now the rest of the country is feeling exactly what we've been feeling for years. The homelessness, the high gas prices.
Okay. Here's my issue with what Star said, and I agree with it. But here's my issue with that. They leave and they still vote Democrat. You know how many people leave Detroit, Chicago, and go to Texas and Florida? They go to Republican states because the life is better because fucking every time you see a black woman as a mayor, the city gonna be destroyed. So they leave and then they go somewhere else and say, well, man, we're gonna vote Democrat. But all the conservative, I'm not even using Republican, all the conservative principles of less government, less taxes, more opportunity, all those things that they run to, they like, yo, it's just my habit to destroy everything I touch. So let me go over here and try to wreck that too. They
fucked up Arizona. They done fucked up Texas. They working on fucking up Texas right now.
Yeah, they are.
I got my own personal troll. Mitchell like me. Look at Mitchell is my own personal troll. But he did say.
That's how you know you made it. When you get your personal troll, that's how you know you made it.
I'm ready for the big time. I got my own personal troll. But one thing he did say that I want to address. He said Obama destroyed the Democrats. I disagree completely. I think Obama was in lockstep with the Democratic agenda. I think, as a matter of fact, I think he put the cherry on the. I think he put the icing on the cake for what the Democratic agenda was in a way that no other Democrat could have done.
And I agree with that. And I said that's what I just said. That's what he lost Tony Men. That's when men was like, yo, I save my money. I pay my taxes. I pay my tithes. This isn't what the Democrats about. I'm not a woman, gay, or a felon. This ain't the party for me. And if you're telling me that to be black, I got to be a woman, gay, or a felon. I saw the DNC convention. It wasn't none but single mama lesbians. How you a single mama lesbian? Whole Democratic Party. I said, man.
What about the Cape?
Yeah, the Cape. But that's the gay. That's the gay rep. And of course he got to be black. So you got the gay rep, he black. Then you got a bunch of black single mama lesbians, and they saying we're here for the minorities. And a heterosexual Tony man in there saying, yo, hold on, I got my own thing. So when you start talking about, because I'm not going off color, I'm going off culture. When you start talking about the culture of women, gays, and felons, that's not for me, and they don't build nothing. All women, gays, and felons do is try to sleep with a man and then say they hate men. All of them. The women, the gays, and the fellas. And if you don't do it, then you must be gay. So, no. No, it's cool. But all I'm gonna say on the cherry on top is, in order to build You got to create a system and an infrastructure. That system and an infrastructure creates your culture. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. You don't have to go out here and be like, yo, we all gonna be Hebrew Israelites. You just, man, you make a system, a structure, and an infrastructure. And America is the phenomenal place to do it because they'll allow you to build anywhere as long as you pay Rome what is Rome's. What niggas want to do is they want to yell at people instead of building shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to march 45 blocks with signs written in crayon instead of just being like, you know what? I got a couple dollars, you got a couple dollars, let's get a corporate sponsor. Okay, now we got a corporate sponsor, we got jobs. That's how you evolve a city. Every city's evolved either around water or around industry. So if you ain't gonna get the water because the water already locked down, you go somewhere, you set up industry, and then you do your thing. It's not really a big thing. The whole thing, and I just told some black dudes this earlier, and they pissed me off. When black men think macro or individual. They never think micro. They think macro or individual. They think all 46 million colored people need to move in lockstep, or man, I'm just out here on my own, B. I'm going to just do my own thing. They never think, yo, 50 of us can change the world. You got every gang in America. The most notorious gang started with less than 20 people. The Vice Lords, the GDs, the all of them, Crips, Bloods. It was just a couple of kids on the block like, yo, we tired of this bull. We going to make this happen. And then the whole world was like, yo, they making it happen. You give me 50 men and 20 pistols, and just so we can protect what's ours. And man, everybody be like, man, what it is that they do. And that's how you change culture. You change it one small tribe at a time. But niggas is scared.
Oh, now check this out. You tell me, you correct me if you think I'm wrong, if I'm going in the wrong direction on this. But I think that under normal circumstances, that type of movement will work. You get 20 men, 20 pistols, and you're going to get the respect that you need. You're going to get the room to build that you want to build. I think that much of the opposition that we face, though, comes from people with bigger numbers and bigger guns, primarily from people with greater systems that want to give us the type of roadblocks to that type of progress.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Where does the opposition come from? Then? And I'm not necessarily talking about today because, again, I think about this. Hold on. Yeah. I'm saying we shouldn't be starting from scratch in 2022. Well, hold on, bro. Hold on. Don't keep interrupting me. I'm saying no other demographic in this country is still talking about starting from scratch in 2022 except tawny men or black men or whatever, right? Everybody else has had several decades at least worth of a head start. And here we are still talking about what we should do and how the last generation failed us, et cetera, et cetera. So something is getting in our way, or something has consistently gotten in our way. And it ain't women. So stop the cap. So I'm asking you.
It's pretty much a lot. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Ask the question. What I'm asking you is, what is that thing that has consistently gotten in the way?
Toddlers and toddler supporters. Here's the thing. You a minstrel class. Nah, you asked me. I'm telling you the truth. You're a minstrel class. When I look at the money that nobody else knows about, because niggas don't read. Because if you read past the 6th grade level, you acting white. So you got to be dumb to be black. So when I actually read, and I look at all the money that flows in to quote-unquote black communities, there's so much bread that comes down. A lot of bread is proposed and black women shut it down because it's not allocated specifically for black women so they can subjugate their men. Or it's stolen by the same pastors that black women support. The way that you get federal funding is you have to have an organization that's in at least 26 states, right? Even when I tell niggas all the time, the reason I network like I do, 23 states. The reason I network how I do, just so I can get 23 mailboxes. Like, yo, my nigga, you in Kansas, let me just send some mail there. When you get a federal organization, the only black federal organization is the Black Baptist Coalition, which is a subset of the Baptist Coalition run by white people, right? But the Black Baptist Coalition is the only national group. Now, you can say other people are national groups, but if you look at the NAACP, the Urban League, I fucking hate the Urban League, Operation Push, whoever, it's always a pastor at the head because they're at the seat of that Black Pastor Coalition, right?
Who funds those groups?
Probably Jews, but
okay.
Or the feds. But here's the thing.
Same thing.
All right, no, it's not. But here's the thing. When people set up their own structure, the money is the money. I'll give you a perfect example. in Illinois, on two different occasions I tried to help these goofy ass toddlers, but you know, black male privilege or some shit. So they only listen to white girls and gays because you know they the most educated. On one time, they shut down 43 schools in Chicago. But before they closed them down, they tried to give away all 43 schools to the neighborhood. All 43 schools, they said, will reallocate from public school to boarding schools. All the black women said, no, that we got to have public schools. Here's the thing. The same funding goes to public schools, boarding schools, private schools, Catholic schools. They get the same $7,200 per student per year. The only difference is the teachers aren't union. These chicks was worried about their pensions more than they was worried about their education. But yet still all the kids took their kids out of public schools to put them in charter schools, which is the reason that the public schools had to shut down. So they didn't want the charter schools, and they didn't want to turn to a charter school. They said, fuck it, we might as well have these kids walk through 14 different gang sets to go to this school because I want my pension and I don't give a fuck about kids. I don't love mine, I don't love yours, and you better not come try to get the boys because I'm going to say, what about the girls? Second time I tried to do this, I went to Evanston, you know what I'm saying, home of Northwestern University, and they had a requisition for a school in the only black neighborhood, District 5. All them black kids in District 5 were being bused to schools in Skokie, Illinois, and Oakwood, Illinois, all in all type of white neighborhoods, didn't even have a black school. The white people said, man, we're going to give you a black school in the black neighborhood, but it's going to be a charter school. We're going to give you $5 million down to start to cut the dig the grass, and then, you know what I'm saying, we're going to subsidize y'all with community funds, but it got to be a charter school. They fought their ass off with a bunch of fucking Northwestern white girls and old ass boomer niggas that's trying to fuck the white girls and a bunch of fucking black girls who don't know shit, they just do shit. And then they turned down the charter school, said we want a public school, and the white folks said, you know what, if that's the case, we're going to make you do a requisition on next year's election, and now you got to get voted in for a public school because you want public funds. The same public funds they was going to give with a charter school, it didn't pass. I just found out yesterday, when I went to that meeting with them, that was 2011, 2012. Just yesterday, they got approved for the same school under the same conditions that they could have had the school in 2011. Now everybody, oh my God, we're going to get a school here. This is the same school you goofy bitches could have had 10 years ago. Everything functional, black girls fuck up. So my whole thing is because black girls don't listen to white girls. They don't listen to black men. That's why you can't build with them, and that's why I don't understand why y'all keep trying to. But so that's the education piece. Then you turn around and you say, man, where's the funding coming from? Like I said, the same $7,200 go to three places: jails, and school. Well, jails and schools, two places, and three places. The child care checks, right? So they use $7,200 a year for your child care and or your old people with the CNAs, because all these chicks want to be CNAs, so they don't have to be strippers. Then you got so $7,200 for CNA for old people, $7,200 for babies, $7,200 for school kids, $7,200 for prisoners. It's the same $7,200. It's federally backed. It doesn't change anything. The only thing is you have to have a system in place. I'm gonna make this short because this is where I'm going. So where everybody else did, the Mexicans came in Illinois and said, man, we're gonna set up something called I want to call it Ola, but it's not called Ola. But I think everything Mexicans do, they call it Ola. But it's another like ahoy or some other Mexican word, and common Mexican word chow or some shit. No, that's French.
I mean,
But anyway, and they get that same money. So now they have 5 ESL schools, you know, education English as second language schools. They have 5 major schools, and they have 20 little trailers in the parking lot of other major schools. And they just educating on with the same funding that they've been offering black people forever, but you can't get it because there ain't no black males in the education system because black women keep kicking them out. That's why you only get that one black teacher that's the janitor, the gym coach, the basketball coach, and he knocked up 17 of the 26 teachers. Because goddamn it, man, because when it comes to men doing shit, ain't no bigger opposition than black women. I promise to God. And baby boomer
Black
men
women are kicking the men out of the education system.
Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Dirty folks. No soap. No soap. Dirty folks.
shout out to a cool ass theme song.
Black
Yeah.
women are keeping black males out of the education system.
Yes.
Come on, oh, you know that.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
No, no.
Name a top until no. Until last year, name a heterosexual man that's been in on top of the education system. Well, you don't know because you're in Illinois. Since Ernie Duncan in the 1990s, you've had all black women. You had Karen Lewis. You had two
I'm not
other goofy
disagreeing
black
with that.
chicks. Then the Chicago school board president, which ironically was the same person that said close 43 schools, is Latasha Thomas. Then you got Rosita Shalanda. She's part of SCORE, which is supposed to be the other end of Karen Lewis shit. Then so you got all these black women. All the principals are black except the cuckold dudes who's fighting hard with these female teachers of older men. So you got women running the elementary schools, women running the school board, women superintendents. Who else firing?
Okay.
Who else getting them out of there? Who else putting the act?
I'm glad you asked that question. Are you guys familiar? I know all y'all familiar with the Moynihan Report from 1965, right? Everybody familiar with that?
The who?
Because the Moynihan Report, like black folk like to refer to this period, this time, this era where black folks had 80% households that were led by two parents, both parents and all this other stuff like that. That was our heyday, right? We like to make this reference to the 1960s. But if you go to the Moynihan Report, which was released in 1965, right? So now keep this in mind. In order for this report to be released in 1965, that means he had to have been studying some things prior to 1965 to compile this data and release it in 1965, right? Okay. So in 1965, Daniel Patrick Moynihan released this report. He released this report. Let me see if I can just pull up a little bit that I had earlier. He releases this report. I got it on my phone here. Where let me see. He talks about. Oh, let me pull this up. He says.
Why you take off your glasses?
Because it's on my phone and this print is real tiny. But yeah, and I can't. I'm old, man. Hey, look, I'm a grandfather, man. So I got to,
Hey, shout out to that. Normally they put the glasses on though. He took them off. Shout out being farsighted. You know what I'm saying?
You're supposed to do the old man squid.
Yeah. Look, I'm an old man, bro. But so I'm just gonna read a little excerpt from it. It says, few pieces of social science research have stirred as much controversy or had as great an impact as the 1965's The Negro Family, the case for national action. The U.S. Department of Labor report, more commonly referred to as the Moynihan Report, after its author Daniel Patrick Moynihan, focused on the deep roots of black poverty in the United States. Moynihan argued that the decline of the black nuclear family would significantly impede blacks' progress toward economic and social equality. Now he's making this argument in 1965 based on the information, the data that he had compiled in the years leading up to it, which are the years that we refer to as our heyday, right? So he's showing you.
Not necessarily. No,
hold on.
Because it was pre.
Come on, bro. Can I finish?
Okay. But
so I'm saying
you're giving data. I'm just trying to correct you that the data wasn't our heydays. The data is less than 15 years. I'm saying after the World War.
I'm saying that
let them finish, then correct them.
Thank you. Okay. I'm saying that these are the years when you hear so-called red pill cats talking about making references to when blacks were doing great. They always refer back to the early 1960s where we had 80% two-parent households, right? And I'm saying that his reference is to that time period where he's talking about a national action that's necessary in order to stop us from being headed in the direction that we were headed. So he's explaining right then in 1965 in this report how we were getting our asses kicked right then, and he's talking about the social conditions that were present and leading us to where we are today. And it ain't had nothing to do with black women doing so great. It's what he was talking about is the government's feeding of upsetting this apple cart that we were experiencing, combined with the obstacles that black men were facing in this society, the things that you like to ignore. So what I'm saying is, or you, Pete, specifically, right? So if you're unfamiliar with that Moynihan report, I suggest you read it. I'm not going to go all the way into it, but again, what he's talking about here, what he's calling for here, is a national action. He's calling it basically a national emergency to rescue the black family from the direction that we're headed, and this is in 1965.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with the women.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
stop.
y'all.
Wait.
Hey, y'all. I was supposed to be sipping this, and my wife said,
First of all, the 80% was in the 1950s and before.
Wait, but here's stop. Hold on, Pete.
Don't let it.
No, because I just want to say something, because I don't care about the black. I don't care. No, because I don't care about the black family, because they were sleeping in separate bedrooms. Look, here's the thing.
Oh, there you go again.
You can tell me about a 1965 report. You can tell me about in 1963 they set up the Equal Opportunity Employment Act just so black men won't be the last hired, first fired. And then I can tell you 2 years after the Moynihan report, they set up the EEOC. They set up the EEOC in 1965 because of that, and by 1967 it was all corrupted by women. So white women suddenly became minorities, even though women were 51% of the nation. So, and then you know who was standing right there to them? All the strong black women who were married to all the strong black men. As soon as their husband got killed, they was on stage with Margaret Sanger. Like, yeah, we don't need these men. We'll get the jobs they promised our men. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers been the ops since the ops. Honestly, the heyday of blacks was between 1890 and 1920. But if people want to talk about 1960, they just talking about because they want two-family households because they don't know who their daddy is because their mama got them a slut. I don't care about none of that shit. They all turn to professional athletes and say, man, we were 6 deep and all 6 of us had different last names and I'm the one that made it and I bought my mama a house. I don't give a fuck about them niggas. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day is the beginning of the next day. So at the beginning of a new day, you got to remove everything that doesn't serve you. If the culture don't serve you, fuck the culture. If the women don't serve you, fuck them women. Then fuck them women for $40. It don't really matter what. 2 tacos. It don't really matter. What matters is that the biggest oppressor of since 1980, because before 1980 it was racist as shit. It's a lot better now than it was when Magic was battling Larry Bird for the championship. It's a lot better now. But
the 90s was like the pinnacle of that change.
The
90s. Can I add this? Because first of all, when you talk about that report, right? When you read that report, the last thing you did not get was where the stats come from. So all reports will tell you where the data and the stats are pulled from. So to assume, you know what I'm saying, that he was just talking about that time period, even in that time period, it's 1965, right? The decline of the two-family black household started happening in the 50s. Right, when the civil rights and the feminist movement was pushing. So that's a 15-year gap. That's enough for a cycle to say, hey, we are going down the wrong path, which he was correct. But he had 15 years of seeing black women dividing from the black family, right? And then when we talk about government programs, right, we talk about Section 8, right? But there's 48 sections in the housing. And we forgot about the first 7, meaning the third one was the one that allowed women and men who were married to move to get housing together. And black women abandoned that because they didn't want to be with the men. They didn't care about that.
Bullshit.
How is it bullshit? You still
let me ask you
that
this.
Report, so
here's how you know right here.
On that report,
you got 3 married people on this panel. You got Kwesi, you got Star, and you got myself. So here's Star. She's a woman. Let me ask you right now, Star, and you, Black. If the government came to you right now and offered your wife, Black, welfare housing in place of what you're offering right now, or Star offered you welfare housing, powder cheese and all of that stuff, in place of what your man is offering right now, would you take it? Would your wife take it, Black?
No.
Never.
Why not?
Hold on. Wait.
No. Why not?
Hold on.
No. You hold on.
Yeah, but you're talking about first of all, but
hold
there
on.
were 40. Well, hold on.
That's the wrong question. That's the wrong question.
But
But hold on, let them ask. Wait, stop. Let them answer because 3 ain't even important without the first.
Why wouldn't you take it? Why wouldn't you take it, Star?
Well, for one, I've been in situations where I could have and I didn't. That's because I wanted to use this. But as far as my husband, nothing replaces him. Nothing. Someone can offer me. I don't care. There's no price. There's nothing.
Okay, why wouldn't your wife take it?
because I handle my own.
Okay, my answer would be something similar to what y'all just shared. So the point that I'm making is, let me land the plane. Let me land my plane right here. The point that I'm making is, women who are being offered something adequate, right? Just something adequate. It don't have to be nothing exceptional. Just something adequate. They do not choose overcrowded welfare housing and powdered eggs and powdered cheese just because.
Yes, they do.
If you hold on. It's 48 sections in the
Healthy
house.
Hold on, wait, we ain't going to 48 seconds.
I gotta finish this part. I gave everybody theirs, so let me give mine. 48 sections in the house.
We're going to be about an hour though.
First, the third. Hold on.
There.
Section 3, right? Section 3 allowed married couples, right? As long as it was the, basically minorities. They were minority couples. I know it's because the Jews took advantage of this shit in New York. And instead of black women pulling that one, they rather leave their husband. Their husband could have been with them and still got the same housing voucher.
You know what?
But they did not take that. They let their husband do the feminism and then said, okay, I don't need him. Let me take Section 8.
Here's the thing.
See, neither side of my generation came from that.
Here's the thing with that. I ain't gonna save him, but here's the thing with that. That's still unfair because I got guys in contracting, and I still don't know a black contractor. I know black subcontractors, but I still don't know a black contractor. Right? Well, I know one old man, and he had to sell his business because his son didn't want to take over. But that's a whole different story. He a cool dude too. But his son didn't want to take. He became an alderman or congressman or something. So his son wanted to bomb. He just didn't want to continue the family business. Here's the thing. When Section 1 and 2 are about contractors, so it helps to know who you rocking with, and then they slide you in under Section 3. You can get it without knowing the contractor, but it's always good to know the plug. And it's hard to be a plug because it's hard to get niggas together. But in the Midwest at least, Cali kind of bonds together. But anyway, my point is now you got to talk about dating patterns, right? You got to talk about dating patterns. So I can tell you all day long and that dirty folks can get all the chicks. Once I'm old, and they be like, oh shit, this nigga could read. And he write books. He not even read books, he write books. I ain't fucking with this nigga. He ain't even got a parole officer. That is a dating pattern, right? If you want to get pregnant by bum niggas just so you in control because you can't change your behavior to deal with somebody who knows what 2 + 2 is, that is a dating habit. You know what I'm saying? Do people choose to be on Section 8? Yes. If you knew how many, I won't even say Section 8, but if you knew how many guys I knew that got married and as soon as they bought the house and got her knocked up, she was like, yo, fuck you, I want child support, and I'm taking the crib, go back to your mama basement. That's just damn near epidemic. I'm not even shocked when people tell me, and they know I ain't shocked because they be like, man, Oak, I know you're going to say I told you so. Yeah. I never not saw these motherfuckers as ops. I keep telling y'all, I sleep with the enemy, but I know they're the enemy.
But you talking about now, man. You talking about the last 10, 15, 20 years. I'm talking about in 1960.
I'm talking, okay, let's talk 1940. Because 1940 were the married couples from the 1920s, right? So that's the civil rights generation, right? They were in their prime in 1940, 1945. They came back from the war, was like, yo, if we got more freedom in France than we do at home, and we killing people for you. They started the Double V campaign, which white women took over and created civil rights. We didn't want to be treated civilly. We wanted human rights. But they settled to be civil to me because that's what white women wanted their husbands to be. So it was really a feminist movement with a black past in the front in the get-go. But I digress. So when you start talking about those women who were burning bras, that's my grandmother. My grandmother was born in 1919 actually. So she was burning bras. She was teaching my
weren't burning bras though, not really.
Goddamn lie.
They the ones. Because black women didn't have problems with their men the way white women had.
Why do you think they don't have problems with their men?
Because black women, let me tell you why. I'll tell you why.
You gonna tell me that granddad had a whole second family around the corner? You'll say that's right, but you won't say they had a problem with their man. So they was cool with granddaddy having a family around the corner.
No, I'm not saying everything was sweet. What I'm saying though is that black men, the problems that white women were experiencing with their men were not the same problems that black women were experiencing with our men.
I agree. Black women just evil. They never liked their men. I'm not saying they had the same problems. I'm just saying they pure evil.
I'm
Look,
not even talking about like. I'm just talking about just the position that black men have never been in a position of power in this country to dominate and determine the future of their women to the extent that white men have.
okay, so if that is
like they men, why don't they
so
like
if that
they
is the case, shit, ask the mother who got son husbands that hate they son as soon as he turned 12. 11 years old, that's my baby. As soon as he get 1 inch tall and get some peach fuzz, you one of them niggas. They just don't like men.
Why they
Nigga.
don't like
Look,
their men, though? Oh, why they don't like their men?
estrogen, nigga. I don't know. I don't speak female logic. You should have asked Star that one. But what I'm saying is,
I can answer it. 'Cause
go
I
ahead,
have,
Star.
I have 4
Yo,
sons.
Black,
Hey, answer.
I have 4
answer.
sons. My oldest son is 22. He's married. The thing is, I've never talked down on my sons. I feel like, in my opinion, I'm a damn good mother. But I do understand his point because I've seen it. That's why I don't have friends. I have very minimal friends. And the only reason why I'm friends with some of these women is because I like how they treat their children. I really base my friendships on how the woman is as a mother and a wife. If you don't have good standards as a mother, if you don't have good ethics as a wife, I really can't rock with you like that. And that's just who I am. But I see it and I disagree with it as well. And that's why there's so many men out here that really just don't like black women like that, or just don't like women in general. I understand it. But at the end of the day, we all really just ain't like that. Both my grandparents on both sides, they were all married. My grandmother and my both grandmothers were married to my grandfathers until death. They had property, they had businesses. I seen unity. So yes, I did see my mom do fuck shit. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I've seen this phenomenal black man all my life. So my perception's not warped.
You know what? I want to come back.
Hold on. But why do black, not you?
Your mic low, Black.
Your mic low.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Why do
sound like
they
you're in
not
the
like
water
their
though.
sons? Why do they not like their sons? I'll tell you. And
No.
I'll tell
Why,
you.
That wasn't the question.
why do black women not like black men?
Okay,
Well, their sons are black men.
Black men, their sons, same thing. In my opinion, because
It's not the same.
I can only
It's even worse actually. To hate what came of you.
in
Go
many
ahead, go ahead.
cases, when they look in their son's eyes, they see their fathers. And
Okay.
in many cases, those fathers are left. And it's fucked up because I could never look at any of my sons and see anything else but my baby. But that's not the case for most women. And they don't say these things. Most women just keep that shit to themselves, and their sons grow up always wondering why their mom was always so harsh on them. You know what I mean? And they know deep down inside why, because you can see the other kid getting treated differently, you know? So it happens every day, and a lot of women are not even conscious that they do it. They're not. So they're not even aware that they're not talking to their sons. They're not. So I made a whole post about this the other day, and it's really fucked up. I agree with a lot of shit that Kevin Samuel says. It's the same shit I teach my sons. But I equip my son. That's why my oldest, he's married. He married a beautiful woman, bought a house early. I'm saying I built my son. So I don't agree with people that bash black men. I never look for guys because my father's a damn good man. But yeah, are there pookies out there? I've never fucked with one. I'm not attracted to that shit. But do I know women that want it? Hell yeah. I think they're dumb. So I used to watch them make the mistakes and have their little unwanted babies. And I just didn't want that for myself. I did it one time. I'm not going to lie. Did it one time. I corrected that shit.
You got the t-shirt. That's what's up.
I think if you go back and you look at some of that footage from black men that were talking back in the 60s and the 70s, you'll hear them from their own mouths saying that many of them opted to leave. They were in agreement. They conferred with their wives or with their women, and they made a mutual decision to leave, so that because they were facing so many obstacles, that many of them decided to leave so that at least the women and the children could eat.
Okay,
Let me finish. It wasn't just that women just categorically or as a group just said, all right, to hell with black men. Nah, man. If there are children that have to eat, there were men who got out of the way so that at least the children could eat.
Can I add to that just right quick? My husband and I, 10 years ago, longer than that, when we first got together, we had 2 babies back to back. We had nobody. We needed childcare. So I looked into different programs that would help. You know that one of the conditions was I couldn't have him. So I couldn't. So we had to choose. We had to choose either we're not be together or I get this assistance. And guess what? All we did, he worked night shift, I worked day shift. And he had the baby, you know, when I'm at work, and I had the babies when he was, so we did it all by ourselves. We was not splitting our family, and we just made more money. That's it. This was
see,
like
now you're talking about opportunities in the 2000s where the opportunities for him to get a job and work, he's not facing the obstacles in 2000 that your grandfather faced in the 1960s, 1950s.
Hey,
Okay.
can y'all hear
But what I'm
my
saying,
mic
it
better?
happened. So it happened.
No, it's still not better. Okay, and shout out to Star for actually being a teammate. You never see black girls on the team. But here's the thing. The 1960s man isn't even the 1980s man. See, there's a lot of variables to that, right? Number one, baby boomers were cowards. They ran from everything. Ran from women, ran from Vietnam, ran from fucking the house. They ran from every fucking thing. Because they were the whole fucking generation. They was the flower generation. Peace and love. Chicks getting knocked up at I was about to say Freaknik, but we had Freaknik at Woodstock. That's what they did. And then the ones that had jobs married single mothers in the 70s. The thing about boomers are, and that's the crackhead generation. We used to serve them niggas. So they was high, they was cowards. That's them. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Do we have a plug for the bottom pipe?
Oh shit, they 40 years too late. We needed that shit in 91, my nigga. So here's the thing. So when the next generation came, when Generation X came in the late 80s all the way through the 90s, and we were breeding age, either we grew up with parents so we understood what a father was, or some didn't have fathers, and their whole thing was, I don't want my kid to go through that. So the next generation was a generation full of dudes like, yo, I'm that baby's pappy, and a bunch of chicks like, yeah, I don't really need a daddy for mine. So it flipped. That started in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? These girls, they really wanted a baby daddy since the 80s when Donahue was on. But in the 90s, they was full swing. I'm a single mama. Like, it was a badge of honor. Like, nigga, I got a kid, B. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about evolved culture. You talking about culture devolving to the point where in the 80s, women were celebrating single motherhood.
I'm tired of that thing, man.
But they were. You want to see history repeat itself? Look at these Zoomers. Look at Generation Z. These pill popping, meth doing.
I just want to say this part.
We're
going to go back. We're going to keep going. Hold on. Can I say this?
What I am saying, though, is that when you talk about the Moynihan Report, when you talk about the Moynihan Report,
that was 1965, bro.
No, hold on. But we talking about.
I want to make a point. I ain't saying nothing. I'll let everybody think. Everything we keep doing is bitching about what happened then, and we're not looking at least in the last 20 years. Come on, man. Since the 90s, we knew what the fuck happened. We knew Section 8. We knew welfare. We knew how it fucked us up. We knew the civil rights movement. We knew all that bullshit. We knew how crack. Hold on. We knew how. Man, come on. Niggas was talking about that. Hold on. They was talking about that in rap music. You know what I'm saying?
Man, the average person ain't that smart, Pete. You know that.
Hey, look. Regardless, man, stop saying the average person ain't that smart.
They not. They not.
Well, whatever. That's the average.
If they were, then you wouldn't have 80, 90%
let me
voting Democrat.
No, first you always want to deviate the responsibility of women when they fucking fail to. First is the government, then is the black man, then is people ain't that smart, then is this. And my thing is this: moving forward, since the 2000s, niggas was aware of everything. Black women, black men, we knew what the fuck it was. We knew the issue was deadbeat dads, right? We
But
knew
Pete,
about
that's
that.
what blows it down. There's still some people that are just not that bright.
No, hold on. It's not even about. Well, here's the thing,
Look,
right?
Hoke is still correcting you on basic shit like racism. You still saying up until last week,
I'm
racism
saying, but
don't
no,
exist.
he's not. First of all, he's not correcting me or nothing about
He did.
racism.
Just last week he corrected you. Just last week, you were sitting here
Bro,
talking about
see,
racism.
all right,
wasn't
can we
fact.
stop with the black woman antics?
I'm
Where
saying
as
just
soon as I
last
say
week, you were
something,
saying
no,
racism wasn't
everything is insult, this, that, right? The sign language. I am getting to
Just
a point.
last week.
Please do not throw. Please stick to the point.
Just
Please
last
stick
week,
to the
you
point.
were
All of
saying
that. All
racism wasn't
right.
fact.
All right. You know what? He corrected me. You know
That's
what
a
I'm
very
saying?
basic but very
he put me
important
over
thing,
his
though,
knee. He
bro.
put me over his knee. He spanked me and told me, Pete, you were wrong about racism. Great. You got it. You won
No,
that, bro.
that's not the
now,
point. The point is
but
much
now,
larger
no, the
than
point is this. Let me finish because everybody want to interject.
that.
I'm saying, fuck that report. That was in 1965 based on data that was probably 15 years old, and it was the beginning of the destruction of the black nucleus family. Okay? I'm talking about since the 90s, since we had Do the Right Thing, since we had Public Enemy, since we had all the... Here it is. Can I get mine?
Shout out to Easy.
Leave that light on.
Right? Yeah, we had different dynamics of music, but we still understood. Where do you think the Hoteps came from? Niggas started reading a little bit. Now we got the internet.
I think that was jail. But...
Right. Well, that was it. Right. We got the 2000s, and motherfuckers still singing niggas what they did 400 years ago. My point is this: motherfuckers is aware, right? I know there are more active fathers than back in the days. I get that, but we keep saying this, that. When is it going to change? Because leave it to you and your perspective will never change. So we just need to go ahead and just fucking lay it down. Nope. At some point, you got to decide today is the day I want to make an adjustment. If not, then look, you know what I'm saying?
I'm doing better.
So
I'm doing better than most of my counterparts. So I'm
yeah,
not
but
you
talking about you though, bro. And see, that's
but I mean,
what
you
saying.
just mischaracterized.
He said macro. He said macro or individual.
But you just said leave it to me.
I didn't say you. You took it as you.
You just said it. Bro. You just said it. You said leave it to me, and we all might as well just lay it down. And I'm saying, oh shit, because if you left it to me, if more people was thinking like I think we'd be further along. So I'm not talking about. But what I am saying is,
man, yo, you know what? Every time I talk, no, because I'm not saying right. You can't think about what I'm saying because there's nothing you can say about. I am saying, fuck this, the Mohan report or whatever that shit is, the Mohawking, whatever that shit is. I'm saying fuck slavery. I'm saying fuck Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying fuck all that fuck
shit.
Since the late 90s, early 2000s. Niggas was aware. We had 22 years to fucking start changing shit. And in 22 years, we got worse. We had new generations.
Hey, that's still going back
hold on.
Damn,
man. Look, I'm going to exit if I'm going to keep getting interrupted, man. Because let me just say my piece.
Well, hurry up, man. Goddamn, you be going.
No, nigga, because I can't say that if you keep interrupting.
Goddamn.
No, man, I'm serious.
No.
Wrap it up, bro.
How? This is what it is. This
Everybody want to talk.
So, right, bro, but you want to talk while I'm talking, and that's the problem. So, I'm saying since 2000, because I'm tired of niggas bringing up the past. Shit has been better since the 90s going forward. Motherfuckers talk about racism and all that shit. Niggas still got houses. Motherfuckers is buying real estate. There's not one motherfucking shit in front of a black person that stops them. Yes, there's a small percentage of racist shit, but it does not stop the process. A motherfucker would buy 100 houses, 99 went through with no problem. One, he had to deal with a racist motherfucker and didn't get it, but he got 99 properties. That one situation does not affect his fucking wealth or her wealth. You know what I'm saying? We were once only 2% ownership of the wealth of America. We're now pushing 5%. Motherfuckers is becoming billionaires. A nigga like Kanye straight out of the shop. Jay-Z straight out of Brooklyn. Rihanna straight from Barbados. They're building brands bigger than fucking... You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, man.
You know? So my point is, at some point, whatever happened before 2000 is one thing, man. It's since 2000, 000, motherfuckers had the ability to change. Bitches are still on motherfucking Section 8. They ain't leaving because a nigga ain't making no money. They're doing the shit because they get the baby. Look, it's online right now. Bitches are talking about dating while fucking pregnant. Dude, yo, you don't see that shit? They like, yo, they got 3 months in, baby bump. I'm like, you ain't even give a father of your baby a chance. But then you want to sit here and talk about all this shit? Goddamn right. Can't say these hoes.
Look,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to. I know it's some raggedy ass. Okay, my fault. You weren't done yet? Go ahead.
So I'm saying is the products we have, like, we can go back, but in the last 20 years, what the fuck was we doing? And what the fuck was happening? Black men in the last 20 years have improved themselves. They took their wage, they decreased their poverty rate by 50%, increased their earnings by 20%, right? They went from poverty to middle class, right? The next thing they did, they declined their presence in jail by 30%. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
More active fathers than they ever were before. So when you look at black men as a whole, right, as a majority, they've done a 180 spin. You know what I'm saying? All the things that they complain about, oh, black men in jail, okay, we decreased that by 30%. Black men ain't got no money, okay, we decreased poverty by 50%. You know what I'm saying? Or we're the black fathers. We're the most active fathers. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So we got more active fathers, black fathers, than we ever had. Even the CDC reported it, and all reports show that we are the best fathers that are there. Yet somehow, motherfuckers keep wanting to bring up, oh, we lost the war, which nobody can ever name a fucking war that we lost.
No, we lost the war. We lost.
Until you tell me the name of the war, because every war in America had a fucking name.
Go get him, Get him.
No. No, because I don't even care about that part. Here's the thing.
No, but that's important to say that if we got a
It
war,
is
we got to
important.
name the war. What war did we lose?
What war did we lose, Oak?
The culture war. Look, here's the thing.
So,
No matter what,
Go ahead. You got it.
no matter what black women say, they gonna do different. Even if they say the right thing, they gonna do the wrong thing. If they say the wrong thing, they still gonna do the wrong thing. But their whole thing is they won't be as bad as Nene Leakes. That's their whole agenda in life, is to be not as bad as the worst bottom barrel bitch. It is not about being a great person. It's about being not as bad as. Because for some reason, every woman thinks she's an exception, even though she's not exceptional. So that is part of the problem. But on the flip side, you got to understand a lot of the wealth. When black people talk about wealthy people, they always talk about the entertainers because they're the menstrual class. But they always demonize the people that got out the mud, who started businesses, hire people. This is what I want to say about racism. This is how racism works, right? Because racism is really just tribalism, right? Taking care of yours before you take care of somebody else. I ain't got no problem with that. You can give me a Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan and he'll still hire me. You show me a single mama black chick, goddamn it, swear to God, niggas need to pay for everything. She working human resources. She's not gonna hire a heterosexual man. I don't go to Home Depot in the hood because ain't number women, gay dudes, and 2 Mexicans that's doing all the work that she hired. Ain't a black man working in that motherfucker. And even though all the hiring agents is black women on the EEOC Act, every opportunity they have, they say fuck men. Economically, physically, shout out to that. You know what I'm saying? Socially, they say fuck men. It's to the point that black women are their own. I'm gonna let you get in, Star. It's to the point that black women are their own demographic, to such a point that not only if men build something, women want their own version. They only want to. They want to invade your shit because they don't want you to have shit. Then they want their own shit. Black Expo, fuck this shit. Black Women's Expo. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, they will separate themselves to the utmost to call a black girl magic until they fuck up everything they touch. And they like, where the men at? You know men like kids because, number one, Every bitch talking about I ain't gonna call them bitches. Every toddler talking about stepdaddy season, so they know they can get a man if they already got a kid. Every chick is talking about finding a mentor, which means it's men out here teaching your kid how to catch, teaching your kid math. Men are fucking awesome. It's the toddlers that's horrible, but they count on how awesome men are in order to supplement their stupid ass decisions. Men need to cut them off and let them starve until they understand what life is really like. But they not, cause coochie get wet.
Go ahead, stop.
I think I think really what makes a woman different from what you described is if she actually makes the effort to gain wisdom past the emotionalism or the whatever input. Example, all of the things that you named. I'm not going to sit here and disagree with your perspective. If I sat up all day and watched Love and Hip Hop and I gossiped and I was into whatever, I don't know, if my algorithm and everything on my phone were set for bullshit, that's literally what I'm putting in. That's my whole fear. And that's exactly what I'll be projecting. I don't do that. I don't even listen to that type of music, only because I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to exhibit those traits. So what I'm saying is, if there are women out here that are actually, doing the work as far as being an intellectual, I know you've met some exceptions. Oh,
Now,
there has to have been some exceptions of
Ta-
some females.
Toddlers are going to toddle. I don't care if she has a doctorate degree, if she has a third grade education. I don't care if she's fat, skinny, short, tall. I don't care if she doesn't even watch TV. She still reads them damn Triple Crown romance novels. There is no point in life that I expect a woman not to act like a woman. I don't care about her education. I need you to follow instructions.
The education part is actually that doesn't define a woman. That doesn't define a woman.
It
And the
doesn't.
thing is, what is acting like a woman though? And as far as instructions, how is like what does that mean? For example, when you was mentioning the contractor, my husband, okay, he's got his engineering. He did that in his original country. So here now he was in an engineering license. I'm a licensed realtor. We have two different skill sets. So what I'm saying that if I have something here and I can explain something, but he's skilled on another area. Do you mean instructions in that aspect, or I'm trying to figure out like
No, because what you're talking about is cooperation. That's not instruction.
We get feedback to Oak when you finish. Mute the mic. So,
oh,
No, I don't think that. I don't know. That's cooperation. That's not instruction. Cooperation is, I can drive the ball. You got a wicked 3-pointer. I'm a driving kick. That's what you're talking about, and I credit you for that, especially being a Tony girl, because Lord knows I'll never see nobody but dykes on teams. But with that being said, following instructions is exactly what it sounds like. Follow the employee handbook. This is what I need you to do at this time in this caliber. This is what you need not to do, right? Because 90% of protection is prevention. So I need you to do what I need you to do and not do what I tell you not to do. And then if the end result is bad, I'll take the weight for that. What motherfuckers want to do is have a voice. I don't care what you got to say. Do what I ask you to do and then tell me afterwards. Like, yo, this is what worked, this what didn't work. Put your shit in the suggestion box, boy. I don't give a fuck. This is what I said to do. Now, the problem with that is, like, men call it submission, right? But people submit every day. Every day to their employer, to their coaches, to their parents, you know what I'm saying, to their kids. If their kids in such an age that they need to go to the bathroom right now or they need something for school. People submit every day. So, but the ability to follow instructions without question, I got guys that follow everything I say. Everything I say, and they come back and they say, "Oh, you were right." I know I'm right because I wouldn't have told you to do it because I did it first and took the loss before I asked you to do it. Then there's other people that want to question everything, and I'm like, you know what? You're not going to get the end result. So then these are the people that come back and say, "Man, I know you're going to say I told you so, but so you didn't even take a chance to follow the instructions." And that's the Tyler in this particular situation.
Well, what I mean, you're saying instructions like you're assembling something. Like I'm saying in partnership. Here's the thing: I'm cool. I'm happy with my husband being my protector. And I get what you're saying because there's some shit he can see. He has a lot of foresight. And if he tells me, hey, Star, I ain't feeling that. You know what? I don't even question it. I get it. You know what? I may not know all the details, but you know what? I'm going to fall back and I'm going to listen to him. And then lo and behold, some shit will really unfold. And there's a legitimate reason why he said what he said. So I understand what you mean on that aspect. But
that's following instructions.
Yeah.
Don't do that, Star. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to do it. That's following instructions.
Can I add something? I just want to go back a couple minutes ago. Racism is not just about tribalism. Racism is about domination also, right? And so if racism was just about tribalism, then Tulsa, Oklahoma City bombing never happened, right? Because white folk would have been busy minding their own business, not worried about what we were doing. Rosewood never happens if it's just about tribalism and minding their own business. Racism is about domination and usurping your resources. And
that is true. Those are two horrible examples. Those were cuckold examples, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, though. I'm giving it to you. Okay. I don't like the examples, but I'm giving you that.
So I think just it's kind of the point that I was making about Pete. When we talk about, I can stop making references to the Moynihan Report in the 60s and all that stuff if we stop making references to how the reason that we're in the condition that we're in is because 50 years ago black women, chose welfare over men. Like, I mean, if you're going to start using foundational pieces to how we got where we are, then when I rebut that as a foundational piece, then don't tell me not to use historical references if you're going to use historical references as a foundation of how we got where we are. But I will say that historical references are an integral part of the conversation when we're talking about how we got to where we are. And then when we talk about the fact that here we are again in 2022, still talking about how we're going to build, whereas every other ethnic group has already passed the baton 3 or 4 times to several generations. I think you have to talk about history, particularly if you're going to be blaming women. And like the title of the damn show is called "We Can't Build Because Black Women Want to Lead," right? And then if you think about this idea where we are of why black women feel like they want to lead, it's because for so many generations now, black women have not been able to consistently rely on black men to build and do what it is that we want to do. And part of it is because you get stuff like Goldman Sachs throwing in $500 trillion or whatever the hell it is.
But they still depend on black men. They just don't want to follow. They still fall back.
I'm talking about for establishing infrastructure, the type of infrastructure that we need to sustain our communities.
You know what the problem I have with that argument? Because I'm at those meetings. I'm at City Hall. I'm at the community. I used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, what's bread out here? Fucking Bank of America just gave $50 million to renovate this shit. Yo, bro, I need a cut of that. So I used to go to those meetings. Here's the thing with that. Once again, I said in the beginning of the show, I don't think that black men can't lead because women want control. I think black men can't lead because they include women. I don't think they should, with clothes on, I don't even understand why you're talking to them, except to get their clothes off. When I'm at those meetings, they're always hosted, and there's always a bunch of quote-unquote community activists and business owners and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the loudmouth women. Yep. And no matter what people say, the women say, we want our peace. You will never make a woman happy ever in fucking life. But they try to make women happy in the most basic forms of infrastructure. This chick is supposed to be interior redecorating what you built. She is not supposed to be part of the building process. She can choose the curtains and what color we gonna paint the walls, but she is not gonna build a foundation. And the fact that they keep including is why they keep building castles on sand.
I'm gonna pray for better experiences for you.
Ain't no better experiences. I'm in Chicago. My sister live in Detroit, nigga. Have you seen Detroit? The downtown look like the hood.
I will say this. To your point, I know that we're at a place right now where women just, they're not offering a whole lot in the way of what Star is offering her husband, what Black's wife is offering him, and what my wife is offering me. Like, that's throwback, right? And where we are today, we're a long way from that. But again, now we have not established the type of, I'm gonna go back to that word, infrastructure, cultural infrastructure that would cultivate the type of womanhood that we need. that will cultivate the type of masculinity that we need. But we also have to consider the ways that we've contributed to that dysfunction. You can't glorify pimps on one hand, glorify drug dealing on one hand, and even glorify all the other types of dysfunction that men do on the one hand, and then turn around and blame the women for how they respond to that dysfunction that we cultivate. I think they go hand in hand.
I got one problem. Go ahead.
The balance, I feel like balance is needed. That's all. Because the thing is, just like what Okep said, and like I said, you're entitled to your opinion. But the thing is, you can get wisdom from a woman. You can. Yep. You can absolutely get wisdom from a woman. The thing is, she just has to be elevated within herself.
Okay, never seen such a thing. He don't know what
it's perfect balance. It's electrical. We are electricity.
No, it's not that I haven't seen that something. I tell you all the time, women can help you or they can fuck you. They just can't do both. They just practice. They say they multitask, but you know what I'm saying? I have gotten assistance from women. And I act like I ain't got no female friends. I get assistance from women, and I sleep with women. I don't get assistance from women after I sleep with them. Look,
I tell you this. I think that some of the greatest insight that you can get from a woman is often the woman that you're sleeping with.
Here's the thing. You're right. And I was sleeping with black women. So check this out. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I understand that I'm an outlier. And I understand I'm extreme. Right? But with that being said, for different... I had this conversation with my niece. My niece wanted a 6'5" millionaire with a doctor's degree that drives a BMW that's handsome, athletic, and also faithful. And I told my niece, I said, you can have some, but you can't have all. You might get rich and faithful, but he might be fat. You can get tall and handsome with a BMW, but he might not have a doctorate. You can have some, but you can't have all.
Right.
She was like, I want it all. I said, well, you'll never be happy. I'll buy you a cat. There is the conversation we were having stemmed from my sister and my mother. So I said, look at your mother, look at your grandmother. I said, your grandmother got the biggest fish she could catch with the marginal bait that she had. Your mother caught 2 whales. Your mom is a whale hunter, equipped with a harpoon. She will get the highest earning man. She will get the ball in this dude out the bunch, because that is what she concentrates on, and she sells what they're buying. You're telling me that you want a man to do all that, and he just got to take you as is, and you're not compromising at the table. And I said, you know what? You are definitely your mother's child. I said, because that's the thing with black women. There is no 50-50. It's normally 90-10, but black women want 100-0. They want everything. All right, whatever. They want, but that's not even true. Because I talk to white girls and they'll put me on.
Man, American women in general are trash.
In general, here's a difference between.
It ain't just black women.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The end result is the same. Here's the thing. It's the initial approach. We're talking about hunters, right? Here's the difference between every other type of woman and black women. Every other type, because every woman will leave you. Every woman has a capacity or propensity to leave you when she gets bored or tired, or you know what I'm saying. You choke out one time too many during sex. They all leave, but. Girls love that. But every other type of woman will help you make $1 so she can leave with 50 cents. Black women either want you with negative 10 cents so she can give you a dime to get you to zero, or she wants you with $1 so she can take 90 cents and send you back to your mama's basement. It's a zero-sum game. You can tell me not all, and I'll say not all of anything, but the majority of that is that. So you're looking from a position that you don't even have the. Here's the thing.
No, let me address that real quick before you move on. I would say that that's the majority of American women across the board. You see white girls taking these ball players and even taking their own men to the cleaners. I got a client right now I just had a client who tried to get her husband's practice shut down. He's a white guy. And because the marriage failed, and so she tried to ruin it. So I'm saying across the board, American culture produces trash relationships and disrespect, that type of disrespect that you complain about.
I don't argue about that, but her husband was a doctor. She wants to break down everything because a woman scorned. But what I'm saying is, when I was in college, I noticed that all those white girls had I'm a feminist, fight the power signs in undergrad. They was doing the keggers, was running trains, all that shit. In undergrad. As soon as they got their associates and they had to go toward their bachelor, and dad said, yo, I ain't co-signing another loan. All of a sudden, the smart girls in the engineering department trying to get tutored. You know what I'm saying? The other girls, the girls that was pretty but airheads, because you ain't got to be smart to be educated apparently. They in the athletic department trying to get a baller. But all those girls was in college to find a man, while black girls was in college to prove she didn't need one. So, no, so I'm saying, so even from a fundamental act, when is the last time you saw a black girl sitting on the bleachers while her boyfriend was at football practice? You know what I'm saying? From the fundamentals, people gravitate toward potential. You can't tell me that you don't know potential, because everybody see potential in rappers and athletes and kids that make tech.
You're talking about the culture that we fail to establish as men, right?
Why we always got to blame for culture?
Because it all. I'll answer that right now, real quick too.
I don't think we fail to.
Who established culture then? Who's supposed to establish it?
Men supposed to establish culture. No. Men are supposed to establish culture. No, men supposed to, but I don't think we failed to do so. Men did establish culture. You know what I'm saying? The baby boomers established the deadbeat, sucker dick, call it androgynous culture.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Generation
if we don't have the culture, if we don't have the type of relationship with our women that we desire, it's because we failed to cultivate that. Because if you're going to say that all the other men have it and we don't,
no, cultivate it too.
Huh?
You said black women don't fail to cultivate it too. I mean, isn't it two people? I mean, in regardless of
now you want to say it's too deep.
Well, no, I'm asking you. I'm saying, don't you have a moral compass individually, in without black women or not, to say, hey, this is right? Don't women? If women are controlling it because they own the children,
women don't control it.
They do. Whoever controls the kids.
No, there's a man that controls your culture. It's just not you.
No.
Okay, wait, time out. Wait, no, it's not the boogeyman. He's not the boogeyman. Check this out. So what you're telling me is they're not my women then. I'm giving you that. So if another man is feeding my girl, she's not my girl, right? I agree. I have no loyalty to this girl. She shouldn't be at my table.
Have it your way. Yeah, I don't want to argue that. What I am saying though is still that your woman, look,
but she's not my woman.
Let me say our woman, but then another man run up. Let me say black women. Whoever's a black woman's man, that's who she belongs to. So she belongs to the system, and she belongs to the white man. She don't belong to black men.
No, she don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so why are we even arguing?
Well, because you keep blaming. Look, at the end of the day,
no. You know what?
Can I answer the question?
I was wrong.
Can I answer the question?
They're not our women, so why are we even loyal? Why are we even trying to build for them? If somebody else is sponsoring it.
All I want to do is answer the question. Can I do that?
So.
Okay, so when you ask me who she belongs to, I'm saying if there's a war, there's a winner and a loser. Black man, you got your ass kicked. We got our ass kicked. Our fathers and grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers got our ass kicked. And all I want to do is finish. I'm not going to take 10 minutes like you did.
What war
I'm just going to take 30 seconds. I'm just going to take
30 seconds. Let him talk, Pete. Let him talk. Let him finish
the point. 30 seconds. I won't take 10 minutes like you did. Just give me a second, right? What I'm gonna say is,
well, my heart always got to be broke. That's bananas. Every time I say some shit, it's who hurt. Oh, damn it! You heard me. Come give me a hug.
You go back to whatever decade in this nation's history that you want to go to. Whether you want to go to the late 1800s, early 1900s, pick a decade. I don't care. Since 1865, there has not been a decade where black men have consistently been able to win, right? And so, if with that
when what you specify, you keep. Because you got this imaginary, we didn't win anything, we lost the war, you can't name the war, right? You have the Civil War, you have, the Spanish.
I can elaborate if you just let me.
You have all these name. What war did we go in and fight? We had the Vietnam War.
It was a silent war.
Come on, Pete, goddamn, can I finish what I'm saying?
What is a silent war? Even if it's a silent war,
can I finish?
You have to have a silent war.
I would like to say this. Hold on, y'all. I like to say this. There's physical war.
There's psychological war.
Thank
There's economic war.
Warfare is
types of war.
warfare.
All I
Warfare
wanna
is
do is
warfare.
finish.
What is the name of the war? Who will be battling?
All I
Tell me
want
who
to
we
do
were
is finish.
battling.
All I want to do is finish, and then I can elaborate in whatever area you would like me to, right? But I want to finish the statement. So what I'm going to say is, again, all of the different, in any way, all the different wars, psychological, financial, social, whatever, right? We've been losing consistently, right? And so when you lose, your woman becomes the booty. Your woman is the prize, and the man that finances you.
I like booty.
God damn, son, can you just mute for a second? What I'm saying is, when another man finances your woman, she's not free to do your bidding. That's it.
So she's not our woman because she was captured. So she belongs to them. She's a prisoner of war to the white man or
She's
the
not free to
government
move like you
or
want her to
the-
move.
Huh?
She's not free to move in the ways that
No,
you
she's
want
a
her
right.
to
She's
move.
a prisoner. She's a prisoner of war.
Yeah,
Right?
do you know how
captured,
many?
right?
She's a prisoner of war.
All right, so that's
Yeah.
so she's operating under that. So why would we think? Why are we black men being Why are black men being stupid by trying to?
Go get your white girl.
You know what I'm saying?
Go get your white girl.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
want an Asian girl.
Go
I'm
get your
fucking with a
Asian
white
girl then.
girl. I want an Asian girl.
Then go
I
get
want.
Again,
You know what I want?
yeah,
I want.
Anybody
Asian-
stop you? You go get
Have
you
you ever
one.
watched something?
No, this is
Why
what I
don't you
want.
have one al-
This-
Look, why
this
don't you
al-
have one already?
This is what I want. I want to buy slaves, right? I just want to buy slaves. I don't care what color they are. Black girls make the best slaves though, because they always then they can say it's the mammy from Jim Crow. I don't give a fuck about her cosplay ideas. I don't need a woman that another man trained, because I don't think there's a better man than me. People go talk about they want foreign chicks because those women were raised by better men. Ain't no better man than me. So I'm gonna buy slaves, and I'm gonna keep them away from y'all niggas. Here's the thing.
I'm saying this. Hold on. I had some pho for the first time the other day. I want an Asian woman. Fuck all that shit. I want some ramen noodles.
You know what the
You know what I'm
problem
saying?
is?
I want
You know
some
what the
fried
problem
rice.
God, who the hell cares?
Look, you know what the problem is? You got a whole collective of black men who want to pick from the fruit of another man's labor. Right? All these other men have established the culture that they need, and they are cultivating the type of femininity that they want in their woman. And our lazy asses are saying, "Ooh, look what they built. Let me go and pick from his garden."
Well,
No,
here's the thing.
hell
You told
with
me
that.
win a war.
Build
but
your
you
own
said-
shit. Build
right,
your
you
own.
said win a war. You said win a war, right?
Build your own.
And
That's all I'm
right, win
saying.
a war, right? Win a war, and you can get what the fuck you want. Why do I gotta settle for black women? I've had already probably almost 1,000. I want some new shit.
Why don't you have one?
Yo, I've
Why don't you
had.
have
Look,
one?
I've had.
Why
I've
you sitting there
had.
complaining? Go get one.
But I'm saying I've had as many black women, more black women than most men have had.
Then go get you a
You know what I'm
China
saying?
woman.
So I'm like, yo. So what's wrong with me saying I would just want an Asian? I didn't ask for
Ain't
her.
nobody trying to
say,
stop you, bro.
I want the shit that I see on YouTube when they be cooking in the wild on the walk and then
Ain't nobody in your way, man.
some
Ain't
good
nobody
ass
in your
shit.
way. She should be sitting in that room with you
Right.
right now if it's that easy.
Well, hey, look, I just realized like I switched my porn. It used to be ebony, now it's motherfucking Asian. So I'm just now getting a new fetish. I'm like, yo, it's just I gotta look at her name, but she thick as shit. And I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's a man change? It's porn, man.
Get
Look.
some water time.
Porn told me I was ebony. I thought I was Negro. Porn was like, you ebony. I was like, what?
What color is the lotion?
I think
Look,
people
come
gotta connect. I think people got to connect with who they got a connection with.
Yeah.
Period.
It just is what it is.
Period.
Here-
The reason
But
why
what- I got a question, though. I got a-
hold
I
on.
got a
Shout out
question.
to you, Star, for smoking that fat ass spliff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
My
Everton
husband-
Iron.
What
my
Elizabeth
husband,
said.
my husband's a Rastas.
Yes.
So listen.
Well, I
so
see I
what-
big up the job, you know. Ja.
Hey, that's profound right there what Elizabeth Taylor just said. Go ahead, Steph.
My question is, considering my husband is from a whole different country, so I did have an opportunity to travel. The culture of women are completely different. Same color. I'm just saying, completely different than here. So, what the hell happened?
Ooh, good question.
But
I got an
because
answer.
they went through a lot of racism and slavery and shit. They did.
I can tell you what happened.
From there, but you know.
No, yeah, it did come from there. Well, slavery is indigenous to every country, and every race of people got over it. except American blacks
Man,
because
why
they're
not black
matriarchy.
folks in America? Why not black America?
Because they're matriarchy. They listen to women. They should never listen to women. But in either case or whatever case, no. First, here's the thing. Let's go through the history of America, right? Okay. When you slavery started because of black.
I agree. Matriarch fucks up shit. That's just me. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, I
Here's
agree.
here's the thing. From the beginning 19th century. We're not gonna go all the way past the slave. We just gonna talk about since you had the opportunity to make a living, right? There's been a lot of things that were put in the way of black men that are the same travails that Mexicans go through. So here's where we start talking about culture. Minimum wage was begun because black men were working under the table and doing the labor cheaper than white men, and they had all the skill sets. They were the tradesmen. It's Mexicans now. Black men were the last hire, first fire, but they always worked contract type jobs. So depending on the place, when the factories came, they worked at the factories, whatever. Now that's Mexicans. Black people went from having no education and money to education and no money. Mexicans don't give a fuck about college. The turning point, if it's anything to be turned from the 1960s, it's not the marriage rate, because goddamn it, these girls ain't never liked their husbands until they turned 50 and couldn't get a better man. So then all of a sudden, we met him as grandma. Grandma was cool as shit. My dad knew her as mama. She was a hellraiser.
Grandma,
I love grandma. You know what I'm saying? But she wasn't mama.
Grandma couldn't leave.
You know what I'm saying? My nieces love my mama. I can't stand this lady. But my nieces love grandma. Granny? That's Granny, Uncle O. Where's Granny? Horrible mother. Phenomenal grandmother. So you can't go off, you know what I'm saying? I don't go off of who a person is when I meet them when their day was 4-5 decades before my day began. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. The thing that happened was, for some reason, everything that white people do, black women want black men to do. It's always comparison shopping, right? It's not enough for me to be a farmer and I own 26 acres and I grab these peaches and sell them to market. No, we want our kids to get degrees in agriculture so that he can't get a job, because ain't no fucking jobs in agriculture. There's a disconnect of what is needed based on what is socially appropriate. And then when you look at dating habits, I don't give a fuck how old these black chicks get. They dating habits never change from being a 15-year-old girl. At 15, they wanted a nigga that's 27 in a box Chevy. At 40, they still talking about, can I find a sugar daddy that don't want sugar? These chicks ain't never fucking stopped being toddlers. So when you look at every other culture's man was like, yo, sit down, shorty, shut up. You get the house, I get everything outside the house. But when I come in this house, have my plate ready. Niggas still arguing who get the first plate. And the chicks can't even fucking cook. I don't understand why you waiting in line for ramen noodles.
So
but
why are black men still arguing with his woman? Why can't he impose the same thing that other groups of men have imposed?
No. Those two different questions. Every man argues with their women because Tyler's gonna toddle.
No, what I'm saying is why
culturally.
What I'm asking you is why, if other groups of men have imposed on their woman the type of environment that they desire, right, where she makes the plate, nobody argues over the big piece of chicken, etc., etc. What's stopping black men from imposing? I mean, she can't physically stop us, right? She's not strong enough. My wife can't physically stop me from doing anything. So what is it that black men? I
seen your wife beat your ass the other day.
Well, that's true. That was that one. That was just one.
I can tell you what it is.
He was leaving 5 minutes late for work. Beat your ass out there and get my money, boy.
Has the difference always been that culturally, if you want to say we came from Africa, or you say we was indigenous in America, or some people claim we're indigenous everywhere. Let's just say Africa, we came from Africa, or we was indigenous either way, right? Is it because we primarily submitted to a matriarchy concept?
Yes.
No.
Is that what it is? That why black men have never really took upon themselves to enforce culture? or is he always wanted to listen to the
Women-
woman? I'm just asking the question.
A woman will fall in line with whatever plan that you have as long as she respects you. It has nothing to do with love. We want love. We need adoration, love, praise, all that shit. You know, we like that shit. Makes us feel all fuzzy and shit. But you guys like respect. That's what you deserve. That's what you need. That's what I get.
Our black men used to submitting to their women's mentality.
Well,
Yes.
modern day.
Pass me the split.
I'm talking from the beginning.
From the beginning, no.
That's for the respect.
At a certain point in history, from Africa, wherever we was at, was the culture primarily woman, and listening to the woman.
That's where the respect started slipping, though. Because if my house was ran only by me, then how will my daughters and my sons learn respect for a man? How will I even respect my husband? So my thing is, it's the respect factor.
After crack era. I ain't talking after crack era. I'm talking before we were slaves. Before we lost the physical war to become slaves, all that. Was we always listening to the woman to have her mentality as the cultural way?
I think we consider her input, but here's where we are right now.
Check it input.
I don't think there's ever been a time where men have not considered the input of women, right? But here's the problem where we are right now. When you talk about
not consider, have her as law. I'm hearing different conscious community concepts. I'm hearing community concepts that women ran law, women ran society. It was a matriarchal. I'm hearing different. It's different.
Okay.
Let me finish this point.
Go ahead.
We got a whole bunch of theories about what it was, right? Some people say Ma'at, some people say, Islam, right? So you can go with whatever theory you want, but here's the largest part of, I think, what black people are dealing with in this country. And this goes back to what I was referring to when I talked about the war, right? This ongoing war that's happening against our culture being erected. You have black men since the end of slavery, black men have pretty much always had trouble, particularly when white people came in and infiltrated and tore down what we built. Black men have always had trouble gaining employment, right? And black women have always been hired as the housekeepers. All these menial jobs that you see Mexicans doing, black people were doing them, but to a large degree, there were many instances where black women were the only ones that would be employed, right? And so I'm saying that as part of the war on our culture, these people purposely employed your woman at your expense, right? They purposely employed your woman and kept employment from you. So when you look at where we are right now, and then fast forward to what the Moynihan report was about, he was crying out even then that what's happening is black men are facing societal obstacles to their employment, and black women are continuously being employed, right?
And that's where the respect factor.
That's where the respect factor. Hold on, let me finish. That's where the respect factor came in, where you have we are the only demographic where your women out earn or even earn on par with 40% of your men. No other demographic is facing that. So when you look at why black women have a hard time accepting what it is that these other men are getting from their woman, it's because we're not in a position to dominate our woman the way let me say it this way, our ability to dominate our woman has been usurped.
No, it hasn't been usurped, but what? So that's why, because it's been usurped. Okay, here's what I'm gonna give you, because I totally agree that only black men face sanctions. That's why I don't think that black women and black men had the same struggle.
Yeah.
But to answer the initial question, which was like the black woman is God question, there were, in the history of 4,000 years of Egypt, there were 110 female kings. Most of them were co-regents. There were 8 that were all just straight out queens. Of those 110, well, let me not say that. Let's say at those, what's 110 take away 28? 90, 82?
88.
88?
Oh, it's something like that. 84.
All right, 84. Because a lot of those, when you look at the list, a lot of those is Queen Elizabeth. So I ain't counting her. She showed it. Of those 84, whatever you said, that was left over, 83 got conquered. So even every time they were in leadership position, they got conquered. Because they don't know what the fuck they doing. They don't know shit. They just do shit. For some reason, Hotep niggas think Cleopatra was black, but she wasn't. She was Greek, actually. She was Macedonian. But they still include her because they worship Egypt as a location, even though all the slaves came from the West Coast. Because niggas don't know shit. They just do shit. They childish too. So I don't pay attention to nothing people say about Africa. None. Niggas be niggling.
Niggas don't niggas.
You know what I'm saying? I don't pay attention. Plus, that's not my struggle. Because I feel like I'm indigenous to the land anyway.
Niggas going
So when you come to America, chattel slavery began from a black woman. That was the first. It's true. It's true. It's because at some point America was based on indentured servitude. It didn't switch into chattel slavery until some black folks was like, yo, I'm tired of buying people, yo. And it was a localized thing that people ran off with. Everything that white people do, they steal from the people of that nation. They never invented anything except the patent office. So all they do is look at what you doing and they monetize what you doing. The issue that I have with men in general, black men in particular, is I remember in the 1990s where men will look after men at all costs. And I said this in other podcasts. If I went to a car wash, everybody and their mama was in a car wash. It was better than going to an employment agency. When you walk out, you're going to have a job, no matter what. And if you didn't have a job, you better wash your car, because that's a job. At some point, black men took all their resources and said, let's save women. There's a reason that your boy buys you a beer at the bar and buys the girls a bottle, because they want to impress women. Everything about black men feeds the matriarchy that they really hate on. Every high-value men. Kevin Samuels, and this ain't about KS, but Kevin Samuels is the biggest agent for feminism. You know what I'm saying? He's damn near Marxist. But I'm not mad at him because I understand his lane. But everything's about how to be a high-value man, which means I need to increase my wealth to get a welfare check. And telling her how she can get a husband that got money. He is a dating coach for dumb chicks. He's no different than Derek Jackson. But when it comes down to, I ain't getting high value for no taco chicks. That shit makes no sense. But anyway, when you look at it in a totality, black men who have real wealth are either entertainers or not considered black. Think about that. So you have your rich, which I want to call pookies or whatever. Y'all have y'all rich minstrels, or you have people that you do not consider black. When I'm in a room with Ed Gardner, for those who don't know who Ed Gardner is like 85 years old now. He old as shit. But in his heyday, he invented Luster hair care products, Soft Sheen, whatever the fuck, right? That was his thing. He went from selling door to door to building a $40 million factory right in Chicago and hired hundreds of people. You know what he went down for? Well, he didn't go down, but he retired. But you know what his downfall was public perception? He married a white woman in 1950 or whatever the fuck. So now he's not a real man. Even though the reason I know about the contract is because of Ed Gardner when he sold Luster for $52 million to L'Oreal. He started trying to put his money all into contracting to get black boys to do the work in their own communities instead of having Mexicans come through. And the backlash he got was from black women because he had a white wife. There's no time in which these bitches ain't the ops. I ain't going.
Got no argument.
What's going on, Internet land? I want to send a reminder to Cash App Tribe Power and donate some love to these gentlemen that's giving their time and their passion. Enjoy the show.
But okay, to counteract it, just to counter and not saying that that's not true, but there are some cases where there's men that do the same shit. I've had my career twice. Men my color pulling shady shit just based on me being a woman or whatever the case may be. So it kind of can go both ways. It really can.
Let me ask you, did they want the pussy?
In one incident, yes.
Let me ask you a question. Were they college educated?
Absolutely.
And were they one of the only 1 or 2 heterosexual black men in the company?
Not at all. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a well-known investigation that I'm literally a part of, and it really happened. But the other occasion was I was actually trying to help this man out because I was in a transaction. It was worth 1.8 million. I wanted him to work with me only because I knew I was inexperienced in that type of transaction. So during the meeting, he just the thing is this the vulgarness, and I didn't know where it was coming from, but he just automatically he told me he did not feel like I was worthy of that transaction. He didn't understand that I had a business relationship, or my father, you know, we have a business relationship with his family, and he just looked at me like I was some hood rat and just automatically just, you know, and he literally lost that whole deal just based on how he treated me at that meeting. So what I'm saying is I've gone through these things, and it can go both ways. If someone's just an asshole, they're an asshole. That's why I'm saying overall, you got to connect with your tribe, because I had a bitter taste towards people in general. Shit, I used to get my ass beat by the white people because I'm black. I got my ass beat by the black girls because I talk like this. So I really just never really gave a fuck about anybody. But I realized you just got to connect with the people that you fuck with. He is
My
really
daughter
out
just went through
there.
something very similar. My daughter just went through the same thing I read.
I'm laughing. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can go, man. I'm just laughing.
Hold on, crazy.
I'm
Your
gonna
mic
take
is
it back.
low.
It's still low?
Yeah, man, you still sound like you're underwater. Unplug it and plug it back, or go to the settings and switch your settings.
Hey, mute your mic open if you're not gonna talk, man. Because you bring a lot of background in. Go ahead.
Actually, I was in the military, and I refused to give up ass, and that fucked up my military career. Yeah. So all I'm saying is,
Right, but that's you know what I'm saying.
that was really some fucked up shit. I did not give in, and it cost me a
I'm
lot.
about to switch the devices. Come right back in.
All right.
I said, did you close the 1.8 million?
Did I close that deal? No, he
Yeah.
he decided not to sell. It's a very long story, but my point is, if me and my brother had to just really, if he had to not dog me like he did, just for absolutely no reason, we would have had that deal, and the payout would have been 5%. We could have split it, and I didn't have to split shit. I really wanted him on the team, and then when I found out why he treated me like that, because I was just like, why? Like, I was perplexed. Like, what the fuck did I do? And I looked on his page, and he was married to a white woman, which I don't give a shit. But I was just like, oh, he probably was really like, I'm not fucking with this tattooed, nappy-headed ass, you know, but he's not. He's only seeing me just from that point of view. He's not seeing me as, oh, this woman spent years in the military. She, you know, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it could go both ways, man.
Yep.
Yo, Black, you gonna try again, or you gonna try your mic? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, we got so many issues at this point. 2022, you know what I mean? We got so many issues, and it's hard to just put, pinpoint one thing as being the cause, but there's a cumulative of all of the yeah. There's been a cumulative effect, man. And at the end of the day, I still go back. I say it all the time. Culture is everything. And right now, you have one advantage that all of the other different cultural groups, it's not that they like each other so much as they agree on one solid thing. They agree that we are the bottom, right? They all collectively agree that we are the bottom. So like when we talk about, oh, well, maybe I'll date an Asian chick, or maybe I'll date, a white or Italian or whatever, you have to hope that they're one of the liberal families inside of that particular ethnic group, because the larger collective of that ethnic group is not very accommodating or very welcoming to people who look like us. They don't want you in their
liberal? Hell no, them liberals are more racist than anything.
What my point is that the overwhelming majority of the people in those ethnic groups do not want us as part of their tribe. Are there exceptions? Yes, but as a collective, they look down on people who look like us, and they don't want you in their group.
In some cases, it's the culture they look down on because my husband gets treated totally different from me.
Oh, it's solely the culture. It's not the person. So if you look at Kenyans and Nigerians, they get accepted everywhere they go. It's definitely the culture. But the American Negro. But the American Negro treats themselves like toddlers. Yeah. It's an entire culture based on the likes of a 16-year-old girl. When you look at people that's 40, 50, grown men, they still have the attitude like it's like a forever young thing. And nobody wants to deal with that. That's where you get things like the good nigger. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the good nigger because he just talk like a man. Everybody loves a man. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing. That's why I keep trying to tell these guys like they scared like little girls. When I was like, yo, let's build, let's try, but we're gonna go somewhere and just, set up slavery. And they like, man, everybody gonna kill you. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna kill me. Everybody loves slaves, everybody love men.
They like being slaves. People like
I think Elizabeth Taylor just made a real good point. She said we got to have a mutual respect for each other. Some black men and women behave like they don't really like each other, and I think even if we get to the point, I know Oak, you don't like women at all, but
I don't know. I don't like people who don't like me. You can't show me open aggression and say, but I'm a girl.
I can rock with that. I feel the same way. I don't like people who don't like me.
But on some real shit,
let me get that spliff.
I don't care who a black man's married to. He could be married to an alien polka dotted with I don't give a damn. If we could do business, let's do business. I don't trip about shit like that, man. I want people to be happy because if you happy and we making money, then everybody good.
Yeah, I think unfortunately we've devolved to the point where we can just look at each other based on this uniform. You know what I mean? Where we can just say, okay, he black, I'm black. Let's build. I mean, it's great when it works out that way, but we just it's too many obstacles.
I don't. Yeah, hear me.
Well, here's how I look at it. Right, I think as black men try to build, right, really can't look at it as we got to do it with black women. You know what I'm saying? If you get a black shorty that lets you lead, and you know what I'm saying, she could follow, she could cooperate, she could submit, she could even help at times, or like Oak say, be your secretary. Then it is what it is.
If I'm selling a house, right, and let's say because my husband comes along with me during certain transactions, I'm selling a house, and how is he going to lead me in that? I'm curious. I'm just saying because
I'm talking about. I'm not talking about in that transaction. I'm just talking
okay because I'm just saying.
Right. At the end of the day, you say your husband lead the household. You know what I'm saying? And
he does.
Y'all hear me?
Finish, man. Nobody. So
go ahead, big boy.
All I'm just saying is that as black men, if they want to just build, stop looking to be loyal to anybody that's not loyal to you. Love who loves you. If it so happens to be a woman of another race, then go that route. I just think we have this undying loyalty that allows us to accept the bullshit because it's the black past. Oh, she a black woman, so now I got to be more tolerant of her. You know what I'm saying? Because we share the same whatever, instead of just saying, yo, I'm trying to build this shit. If a shorty or a few shorties or whatever want to fuck with me, that's who I'm gonna fuck with. But if you're gonna deal with
like men give too much fucks about black women because they don't act like women.
They do.
I don't see that anywhere.
I see that everywhere. You just looking in the house. Let me tell you something. This is a true story. I'm at an art gallery with a female friend of mine, highly educated, beautiful young lady. She can't follow instructions though. And the whole time I'm there, this lady's in her maybe mid 40s. At that time, I'm like 30. She in her mid 40s, maybe early 50s. She had to be in her early 50s because she had a son around my age. I was 30, 31. He was about 26, 28. He was one of the minor execs at Nabisco, right? I was already trying to get a sponsorship from Pepsi, and Nabisco is a Pepsi company. So I started off talking to this woman, but she had an art gallery. So I was also interested in the art. I'm sitting next to my homegirl. Everything I say to her, she looks at my girl and gives the answer to her. I said, this is the same shit teachers do when fathers go to parent-teacher conferences with their wives. black women totally ignore black men in every setting. Like to the point I said I had to like stand in front of them like, yo, lady, I'm the one talking to you. She don't know the answers to these questions you asking. This is my lady. Why the fuck is you talking to her? I had to walk away from her and talk to her son. Like, yo, you need to woo woo. We had a good relationship, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't deal with her mother because the disrespect and the disdain for black men is bananas. And nobody seems to fucking see it except people who will kill for their respect. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else just go along to get along. At least I got some pussy. Man, black women are the biggest spenders. I'm trying to sell these little cupcakes. I got to be nice to black. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Get down and lay down. But it takes a special type of woman to want to be with a dude with Hitler aspirations. You know what I'm saying? To be able to take over whatever the demographic is and be that champion. It takes a special person to be with a Kobe. Kobe got turned down for marriage 3 times by a black girl before he got that little Middle Eastern girl. And the first thing when Kobe died, black girl said that's because he went with a black chick. All his money go to a Mexican or whatever the fuck she is, Armenian. So 3 girls turned him down. Y'all knew Brandy turned him down. He went to prom with her, proposed to her. She said, I want to fuck with Mace. Mace's career ain't shit now. Because Kobe was riding the bench. He wasn't high profile enough. The shit that these 16-year-old, these toddlers and adult bodies do on a regular basis, the disrespect that they show on a regular basis to turn around, and I have only heard feminine voices from black women when they need shit. Let her catch a flat, or she locked her keys in the car. Hey, I was just wondering. Rest of the time, this bitch sound voice deeper than mine. Y'all trying to tell me that this man, look, I know the ops when I see the ops, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna ask me who hurt me, goddamn it, man. I must be broke. Am I gay? None of that shit. Nigga, I'm in Chicago and I survived the 90s. Y'all don't understand what that means. Y'all call it Chirac now and they killing 500 people a year. In the 90s, we was doing 1,000 every year from 1991 to like 1997 when the feds came. Every year. And I had to navigate that shit. I did like 12 tours of Chirac. I'm not out here fucking with these killers every goddamn day just to come back and let some girl slap me in the back of the head. You got me fucked up. But these motherfuckers is disrespectful as shit. And even the ones that are respectful, they don't follow instructions. So now you only got half the job. You respectful, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You laugh at my jokes. That's cool. I know I'm funny. But I need you to do this in a timely manner. Treat me like you treat your employer. Give me that import.
I will say this to your point. I think black men are in a hell of a predicament because we are the group that gets the least amount of respect from our women on a collective level, right? And again, it's a cultural thing, and I think we agree on that point. You and I both always say culture is everything, but that's what we are. I mean, that's the effect of what it is. I mean, we can disagree on whatever that is, but the point is where we are today is a product of a failed culture.
Mm-hmm. Income dictates culture. I give you that. You say, man, but you got to admit they somebody else's woman. But income dictates culture. There's a reason that if I'm in a car wash with a bunch of dope dealers and a bunch of high value men that do other stuff, that every girl's in a car wash trying to sleep with a baller. I actually had a girl.
Did you say income breeds culture? Income
breeds culture. So that's what you're saying, right? Who feeds your women, even though they ain't my women? Well, income breeds culture.
I think that's probably true because for a long time.
What's the Motown culture? The Motown culture in 1960 is the Atlanta culture in 2010. It's I want to go there for an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is this. I think even in the Hispanic community where the Hispanic male, the father, the husband, he might pick strawberries. He might not make no more than, 25,000, 30,000 a year, but he still gets the respect from his woman and from his family. So again,
because they're illegals. Look, check this out.
Let me make the point. What I'm saying is that they have a cultural foundation of respect for the man, for the husband, for the father. And I'm saying that in our community, you can bring your ass home with $100,000 a year, and that respect factor is oftentimes still kind of shaky. And that's because our culture is so fractured.
I give you that.
Money, that's my point.
I give you that, but here's the thing. Culturally, so now you have to go to matriarchy, right? And I hate to say matriarchy, but because girls don't know shit, but It is what it is. So when you look at women who look for advice, they don't go to their man. Maybe Star does. Maybe y'all wives do. That's why y'all still married. But 91% of black women aren't married. 91% under 50. You all about 26% of them boomers. Boomers just living in separate bedrooms. Dick don't get hard no more. Coochie don't get wet. He just hoping he get a meal. They just together because who else want them? When you talk about under 50, before the menopause hit, 9% of black women are married, 15% of black men, which means that 6% of those black men are married to somebody that's non-black because they want a family and she don't. You know what I'm saying? You ain't met a black girl yet who ain't say she declined 2 marriage proposals in her prime, and now she 40 talking about what a real man at. Motherfucker in your 20s, bitch. Look, so when you look at it for what it is, when women ask for relationship advice, they ask other women, even though women should never ask women shit, or they ask gay men because they like it's a man perspective, but he want to sleep with your nigga. Like women ask whoever's gonna give her the most dysfunctional, dumbest fucking answer, and she asks everybody about her man except her man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody else is in your relationship. You having an orgy and you don't even know it. So because if you ain't got a head, you ain't got the girl.
You can flip that
You know what
same.
I'm saying?
I'm a big advocate on just keeping your shit with you and your man. And that's nothing gets out of here. It don't need to. You know, women got to really learn that for real.
I think you can take that same dynamic and flip it to how many of our men, remain players, for way too long. We don't get out the game early enough. And so we run through women. Let me
you got married at 16. You don't count. First of all,
let me finish this point.
The average man is 35 and marries a girl in her 20s. Okay. For some reason, y'all niggas act like people got to date somebody that's in their 4-year high school bracket. That's not fucking true. It's life cycle.
But check it, though. If you're going to tell me that the average white girl is going to college to major in MRS, she's looking for a husband. If she's in college looking for a husband, she's probably looking for a husband of college age. That means a lot of the men are also trained to settle down a little bit earlier. Whereas a lot of our men, we're players well into our 30s and 40s.
Once again, all these girls duck marriage proposals in their 20s. Guys were ready then. She said no. So he kept looking. That's not player. That's a forced. You know what I'm saying? That's forced today.
What I'm saying is, you cannot deny that there are a lot of our brothers who are still running through women well into their 40s and 50s.
Yes, I can deny that. I can deny that. I could deny that easily. Number one, because most niggas don't get no pussy, so a lot of it, nobody doing shit. Second of all, niggas who do get pussy, by the time they get 40, they so tired of y'all motherfuckers that they don't even want the girl. You know what I'm saying? I've been to NBA parties. I've had a great life now. I think I got a lot of stories. This Tyler Hill is gonna be hot. Anyway, I was at an NBA party one time from Bobby Seals. Used to play for the Milwaukee Bucks, but he's from Chicago. He the only NBA player there, but all the 6'9" niggas that play in Europe is there because it's all the guys he play AAU with, college ball with, shit like that. So it's a bunch of light-skinned 6'9" niggas all through his party. It's like a hookah party. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke hookah, but I smoke squares. It's another dude that he don't smoke hookah, but he smoked blunts. So both of us sneak into the corner. I don't even know dude. We in the corner together. I'm like, nigga, you tall for no reason. We just cracking jokes and shit. Girls start coming through, shooting their shot. Because she know everybody in there but ball play. Even if you play overseas, you're making 150,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Know everybody in there ball players. And you're like, fuck that shit. Then other ball players coming through, and now we all talking. Because they thought I played. They was like, bro, you play ball? Because they thought I played football. I was like, man, nah, bro. I just chill, B. And we all talking and shit, and all we keep talking about, like, man, I'm tired of these ragged ass bitches. Like, all these bitches want to do is get pregnant and get them and try to get some child support. Get them and they don't follow instructions. Get them, you can't ask the bitch to go get you a drink. She'd be like, nigga, what's wrong with your legs? Like, I'm tired of these bitches. Now, these are the quote unquote high value men, 6-figure dudes, 6'9", 6'6". These are the dudes that everybody swears they want. And these niggas don't want them because they are mothers, sisters, cousins, classmates. We know what the fuck they about. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that even when dudes have the opportunity, you know who gets pussy? Broke niggas whose life revolves around, man, they got my man because I got pussy. But it's not a lot of them niggas that can get pussy, and they fucking the ugliest bitches. They be like, "Oh, you want some of this?" Hell no, I don't fuck Lizzo, nigga. Like, so
Vaughn likes Lizzo. That's his favorite person.
You gotta see low level niggas. I ain't even saying low value, low level niggas, fucking trash bitches. And that's who fucking everything. Niggas who really got shit to lose don't want to lose shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas that got shit to lose is real. Get your credit right. You bought that first house, nigga. You got a Lexus you still paying on. You ain't trying to fuck with these motherfuckers, man.
I'll be honest. I mean, it's not even most dudes, man. I could tell you my circle of. I'm saying, but look. There's a few men who have more access to women, gonna have more chances at women, just general, right? There are many men that are solid that are just looking, and they don't have the body count as some men. You know what I'm saying? So to sit there and try to say that, oh, as a collective, this, that, and third, I don't even know why that's important, because shit, sometimes the players do get the best woman and marry her. You know what I'm saying? And men that are good dudes and solid be getting hell, and they followed the script.
What I'm saying is this.
I don't think there's a relevance to that. I think it's just a way to downplay men.
No, it is. Here's the relevance.
Now, hold on. We found many ways to downplay men or make it okay, acceptable for women.
Here's the relevance to it right here. If you're going to tell me that the average white girl goes to school to find her husband in college, that means that there's something happening among the white men in that culture that encourages them to get married at an early age. Otherwise, why would they have hope of getting married or finding their potential husband in college, right? It doesn't make sense. The only way
it has everything to do with the woman, man. I don't think it's saying that. I never finished, but
I just want to finish. All I'm saying is the only way that those women consistently go to school expecting that they might having reasonable expectation that they'll find a husband in college is if that happens on a consistent enough basis. So they can have those type of expectations.
It happens on a consistent enough basis. If I'm looking for anything, I will find it.
What I'm saying is, I want to get to this point. The point that I'm making.
How's it men's fault for not being? I mean,
I'm not blaming nobody. I just want to make my point. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, but your point is always blaming men. Like, how's it?
All I want to do is get to my point, bro. That's all I want to do is get.
I know, but every time I get to my point, everybody want to shut me down, and then I gotta listen for minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then tell me this. Like, all you gonna try to find a way.
What I'm saying is, if white girls consistently go to college with a reasonable expectation that they might.
Then why black women can't do the same thing?
God damn, Pete, can I fucking finish?
That's the same I do when you interrupt me.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yes,
if white girls,
I call on him too for the same.
If white girls consistently go to college with a reasonable expectation that they might find a husband there, then there's
black women do it.
God damn.
Oh, I forgot. They go to Strayer University.
Can I finish?
Arizona.
All I want to do is
they go. That's where they be trying to find.
I just want to finish. So if they go to college with a reasonable expectation, then there's probably a chance that happens on a regular enough basis. So the point that I'm making is, if there's something happening in those communities that encourage those men to get married at an early age, how many? I don't think it's as common for black men to be encouraged to get married in their early 20s.
Well, okay. That's what I'm saying. You first go into the reason why white girls do it is because the mothers and the family say, look, pick your husband at that time frame. Hold on, because that is the peak of their time. They're going to college between the ages of 18 to 22. And their culture says that's where you pick your husband. Go to the college where the engineers are. Go here. Black mothers teach their daughters to go get their degree so they don't need a man. So their mindset is coming. It ain't the men. You can't blame the men because women go in there with different intentions. You know what I'm saying? That's true. What you just did. You're trying to blame men, saying black men are
blaming men.
I'll say this: black women went in there with the intentions of finding their husband instead of going in with the intentions of preparing herself to not need a man. Probably she'll get the same results as white women. But you want black men to do something with something they're not offered. When white women are coming in there, they're gonna cook for him. They're gonna do all the things to show that she's a wife, so that the white boy would be like, oh, I like this woman. I could build something with her. Black women are coming in there like, nigga, what the fuck you want? I ain't finna do that shit. My mama told me get my degree. Fuck you. And her expectation is out. So now the potential of him wanting to be married is gone. You're assuming that
it all boils down to how you're raised. Because my son got married. Him and it, it all boils down to how you're raised.
What age did your son get married?
18.
18, right? Because he came across a woman that showed that she was married material.
They were both raised. They were both raised that way.
Thank you.
Culture.
Okay, that's fine. It's cool.
Right. So who's raising these black boys going to college?
Again, so let me answer that. So,
but then you're gonna go back to the 19. You're gonna go back to the 1850s.
No,
right?
I'm gonna say right here. If you just mute for a second and let me answer the damn question, I like to do that. So what I'm saying is,
hold on. I didn't answer. I'm just saying, how do you?
I'm gonna answer before you move on.
Hold on. I just want to know this question. How do you go from?
I'm gonna lose my damn train of thought because you're gonna ramble for another damn 10 minutes.
How you gonna go from? I know because here's what's crazy. You went from.
I just want to answer your question before you go.
To find a husband, and mind you, white men are more promiscuous than black men. Them niggas be
See, there you go. I knew you was gonna start rambling and go into a whole nother goddamn.
But you making it seem like
I'm gonna lose my whole damn train of thought.
Because you want to go into like you never compare white. You never compare it apples to apples. You go to white women, black men. How the fuck do you compare them? Compare white women to black women, and then we can say, okay, so you are because you just said white women could go, and what cultures allow them to think that, but then why black men ain't ready, nigga. Come on, man.
So can I go back? Answer the question.
Please go back. Please compare black women to white women and not black women to black men.
Where you
talking about the culture? No, every time you bring up the culture, you blame black men, and it's frustrating because you just did the bullshit.
I think what he's saying is,
come on, man.
I think what he's saying is, if these women are actually getting married, someone's marrying them, right? So someone's marrying them. So the males are obviously going into college with that same mindset. But it boils down to how they're being raised. It boils down to how they're being raised.
But here's the thing: how do we assume only?
Wait, stop. Hold on, Pete. Wait. No, I want to just start. I want to just start real quick.
Boys are not raised the same.
No. I want to just start real quick.
Be married.
I want to just start real quick. She said that means that the boys are going into college with the mindset that they want to be married. I already said that black women turn down 2 marriage proposals in their 20s, so black boys want to be married too.
Yes.
There's the difference in raising, because I have an older sister, and I've said this before. I listened to how my parents told my older sister to be independent of men, don't depend on men, and put herself in a precarious situation where she's indentured to men. I listened to my niece talk about, man, mama had an 8-figure nigga, but he controlled everything. He controlled where we live. I'm gonna control my own thing, which is basically what they wanted from my sister, but my sister was a whale hunter. It was just in her. So this is a mentality of them. That's why I'm buying my niece a cat. But it's not that dude. Here's the thing. My niece, we had that conversation. I talked to my niece a year later, and she was dating, but she wasn't claiming on dating. She just had a friend. Why is he a friend? Because he's short and stubby. He's a millionaire, though. He's a millionaire. Yep. He's short and stubby. He doesn't have a doctor's degree. He sold cars until he had enough money to buy his own little used car dealership. Now he has a new car dealership. He's a multi-million-dollar, well, I ain't gonna say multi, but he got a couple M's. But he's not good enough because he's not tall. He don't have no doctor's degree. He just sell cars. The expectations of motherfuckers. And I'm like, yo, niece, you getting fat and you 33 now. Like, the expectations of black women are bananas. There is no good enough. So it's not that men don't want to get married, because her complaint to me was, Uncle O, why he always trying to buy me stuff? He trying to buy me. I said, the nigga's trying to be nice.
You do realize that black women are not the only ones that suffer from a failed culture. You do realize that affects black men too, right?
Yes, because we got to deal with these raggedy ass bitches. Look, all I'm saying is, what I am saying is, a man following natural law will find these women unnatural. You know what I'm saying? There's a natural ebb and flow to everything.
Yeah.
You will find it unnatural. That's why they keep talking about the new norm. And who follows the new norm? Liberal chicks, which also includes fat white lesbian chicks. Liberal chicks always talking about the new norm. Ain't no new normal. It's just the old natural.
But again, though, the matriarchy that we're experiencing is not just because black women decided that they want to go to school so they don't need no man.
That's
black
what
women,
we're told. That's what we're told by the women. But my mom told me to let a man take care of me. She never even paid a bill. I don't think she even knew how to pay bills. And my dad handled everything. But I'm just saying, she cooked, she cleaned. That was what she did. She knew what she wanted.
Can we also acknowledge the fact, though? And this is, I mean, correct me if this is not a fact. Correct me if this isn't a fact. Can we acknowledge the fact that black men or black women have consistently not been able to rely on black men to the same extent that other women have been able to rely on their men?
Right.
No,
and again, that's where the respect comes from.
How?
We can't say that. We can't say that.
We cannot
Hold
say
on.
that.
No, we
No.
cannot.
So let me ask you.
So black men
Why
haven't
are-
faced cultural obstacles that other men have not faced.
No,
Doesn't
that's true,
matter
but that's not what you
that-
asked. No, that's not what you asked. What you asked was, are we saying that black women can't depend on her men
No,
the way other
that's not what I
cultures?
said. That's not what I
What-
said.
what did
That's
you
what
say?
that's what you just
I'm
said.
gonna repeat the question. I
Go
said,
ahead.
can we acknowledge the fact that black women have not been able, and I should maybe I'll make it more succinct, that over the past several decades that black women have not been able to rely on their men to the same extent that other women have been able to
You
rely
still
on their
can't
men.
say that.
So
The-
then,
the
so
fact-
then, the reason that black women go to college to the extent so that they don't need a man is not so much that they don't need a man. It's as much
They
as
want-
that.
They want to be the man. But to
Let me
answer your
finish.
question, your
No,
question
let
is
me finish.
fallacy.
Let me
No,
land,
they can't.
bro.
Are you
Let me
telling
land,
me
bro.
that every chick is so entitled that not only do they say that a
Let me
man is
land,
supposed
bro.
to feed them, that now
Let me
they don't want to
land,
go to dinner, niggas got to fly them out. They want to
Come
get
on,
paid for
You
their
can go
time
back
to
to
go on
any-
dates. The
again, you can
entitlement
go
of these
back-
toddlers, man.
Come on, man.
No, there's
Come
never
on,
been
man.
a time that women
Can I
couldn't
finish?
count on their man. They want horrible men. That's why they all talk about
I'm
stepdaddy
saying-
season. No,
I'm saying
it's
every
not fucking
single
true.
Will Smith
I'm
and
saying
Steph
every
Curry's not
single
even good
decade.
enough for them to think about
Again,
that.
show me a decade. Show me, pick one, and I'll listen. Show me the data, whatever. Show me a decade where black men have consistently been able to provide at the same level, or at least a where they haven't faced the type of opposition that would allow them to provide.
Are
in a
you
way-
able to provide for your wife? Vaughn, are you able to provide for your wife?
Yes.
Quasi, are you able to provide for your wife?
Yes.
Are either one of you millionaires?
Nope.
But you can still put chicken on the table, right?
Yep. Scott, can you?
If these funky ass toddlers wanted chicken on the table, they had chicken on the table. They fuck with ramen noodle niggas so they can do what the fuck they want to do, and then they want another nigga to provide the chicken. That is a failure on their account. Most men ain't even got kids. 54% of black men don't even have fucking kids. So you can't say we just knocking up bitches and running around.
That's every demographic though. All demographics are represented by about that same number. You
Okay,
go to
that's
white men,
fine.
you go to
So
Mexican
at
men,
any given time,
everything.
if a chick wanted to, she could find the same provider she found when she needed to get a stepdad before she was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Can't no nigga tell me nothing. She could have found that nigga first. She had that nigga first.
So
Hey,
I don't agree.
It's always stepdad season, but never husband season.
I made a whole post about this. I was telling women, look, post up at engineering events and shit. Like, really try to get you somebody
Fucking
that
Comic-Con.
you can't.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dragon
Comic-Con.
Con.
You can't
I
do
don't
it.
heard- I
They
done heard
don't
a
Give
lot
me
of
a
want
folks-
those
nerd.
men.
Yo,
They
yo,
don't
yo.
want those men.
Yo,
They
can
don't
y'all hear
want
me?
those men.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't heard a lot of sisters. I mean, say that I should have stayed with that one dude.
Yeah.
I don't heard a lot of them say that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hell
I
yeah.
knew by 28 that was a wrap for me. So I knew. I you know what I mean? I knew. I got married
There you
at
go.
21 and I got married again at 28. I was not going to get into my 30s and not be. Yeah, I look good, but I'm just saying, the competition's fierce.
I'm trying to tell you, nigga, because I got tacos for days, nigga. Look, at the end of the day,
And
here's
on Tuesday, was it the first Tuesday? 10 for
oh
$10.
nigga. The second Tuesday, 10 for 10. Look,
Is it
here's the
still 10
thing.
for 10 or 10 for 13 because of
Here's the
Biden?
thing. I listen to so many women say they can't find a good man, and I'm like, all I know is good men. You don't know what the fuck good is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know some bum niggas too, but I know a lot of good dudes.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Most of the
saying?
people I know are good dudes.
And
I fought back. Oh, I fought back.
Most of the dudes I know are good dudes.
Hey, but we all got that little cousin or that nigga we grew up with. Doing shit. But you know what I'm saying? But overall, as an adult, when you choose your adult friends, you choose people who you want to rock with.
Yeah.
So for a girl to say she don't know no good niggas and I know good niggas, for a girl to say I ain't no good nigga, you know how many times I've been called the oppressor? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, motherfucker, I just asked you to do what you said you wanted to do, nigga. I made a video about this shit yesterday. You said you want to do this. You said you want to be a model. I said, all right, give me 2 hoes, I'll make you a model. You don't show up at the photo shoot. You say you want to be a CPA. I'm going through an audit. I went through an audit last year of that PPP shit. You want to be a CPA? Perfect. I'll teach you how to do taxes for 2020, but I need my taxes done all the way back to 2015. So I'm gonna show you this 1 year, and you do the other 4 retroactively. I give you the numbers. You say you want to do this shit, and I'll pay you for it. Give me 2 hoes, and I'll give you a spot. Gave me the 2 hoes, didn't do the taxes. You weren't supposed to actually want me to do it. These lazy whores. Look, all I'm saying is, every black woman I've ever talked to said she was a good woman. So I'm assuming every black woman's a good woman. And if that's as good as it gets, then goddamn it, I need a slave.
So we got all good men and no good women. That's your
No, I said I know some bum niggas. But the whole thing is, I'm not attracted to bum niggas like girls try to. I keep telling y'all, dirty folks get all the pussy. Oak Summers, the author, bruh, no parole officer, nigga, he an oppressor. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, hat cock, you know what I'm saying? We going out for tacos, that's cool. You doing what you said you want to, not what I want you to do. You follow instructions so you can be what the fuck you said you want to be when you grow up. Nah, I don't give a shit what these motherfuckers tell me. Because if got on clothes, they lying. And they not even lying to me. They lying to themselves because girls convince themselves of the lie first.
Well, Oak, I would say that you're probably in the upper echelon of men who are able to get that type of cooperation from women. But
I don't get the cooperation. I can't if I get the pussy.
I'm sorry, dirty folks get the cooperation. Either
dirty
way,
folks get the sex. He don't get the cooperation.
But either way, everybody don't have an alter ego, right?
You know what's everybody got a nickname. You know what's so crazy? Here's what's so crazy about they have to see their men as the victim, right? If I say I'm selling penny stocks, support my business, motherfuckers be like, I don't know about that. I say, man, I'm fucked up. I lost my wallet, $2,000 in the cash app. Why? Because you gotta be a victim. Motherfuckers gotta see me on a lesser level, like I'm a pity case for me to get something from black women. Black men, yo, you trying to get it? I'll help you get it. I'll do it pro bono, my nigga. You ain't gotta pay me shit. Pay me on the back end.
It's a mentality thing. Men celebrate the victors, and women actually like that victim stuff.
Yeah, black women.
I mean, I've noticed that. I've noticed it because look, I had women mad at me over some shit, and I'm like, well, damn, you mad because I made people victims? But I'm an honest one. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I've always been good. I got good, but I haven't always been good. But the average woman will never sit up and be like, well, yeah, I did this, did that, did that. They won't do that. And that's again, I just resort back to who raised them. I think a lot of mothers failed because they did not.
Let's go back.
Yo, the chat going ham. The chat going ham.
Let's go back to culture, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
A lot of mothers failed because here's the thing. They can say, a lot of mothers failed. They never taught their daughters.
If it's like to be victims, right? I'm seeing a lot of black brothers who fall for that. White man's hold me down. This and this and this and that, right? So, this is my question. Again, I want to go back. I want to circle back. What are y'all thoughts on this again? Because we went into a tangent when I asked this question. Has the culture always been this way? Not always, you know what I mean? And
since 1865?
Let's go beyond that. I'm talking about before slavery.
It's hard to really dictate that. I think you really only know
as the culture been where black men, tawny men, whatever you want to call them, has had a culture where they submit to the mentality of their women.
Yes.
It depends on it depends on what author you believe.
Yes.
I believe there was balance.
The reason why I asked that because a lot of people think that what we are right now, we always been. The behaviors we have. Certain things, certain influences outside can make it get crazy. You know what I'm saying? They can take. Let's just say if we was like that before they came to Africa, if they saw how we operated, but let's continue to use how they operate when we bring them to America. Let's continue to have her leading in the leading position, him submitting to that mentality. Or did you say it was switched?
I don't know that we can accurately measure that, to be honest.
You can't actually measure that. You can measure that by spoils of war. Were you conquered or were you colonized? Because if you fall back, you would be conquered. If they were able to take you over, that means that girls was talking that shit and you got colonized. The reason that
what do you say we are in America?
We're colonized. We still here. We colonized.
Do you think we were conquered too?
No.
Tummy hurt.
We still alive.
Still alive.
That conquer don't necessarily mean dead.
Well, but here's the thing: when I actually,
you might have suffered some death.
Conquer don't mean you're dead. I can play chess and checkmate you. I just conquered you.
Yeah. Right. And when you do checkmate, you killed the king. So that's what it is. So it's death.
So you got a bunch of men that are walking around as
when you kill the king.
I'm gonna say this first of all.
When you kill the king, you take the people as slaves. When you kill the king, you take the people as slaves. I don't mean that the people are over with.
Well, my thing is this, right? I keep asking what war. You would have to say war would happen and these people got conquered, right? Because the reason why I'm asking, we have this invisible imagination that a war was fought, and it really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? America was just open land, and everybody came in and brought what the hell they brought. They slaves. The people here already had slaves. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing new. It was just like, yo, no different. Everybody was just fighting for power. It wasn't a war per se, like, oh, motherfuckers just came here and did this shit.
But do you agree that there was strategic things put in place to basically make us
look at Ukraine? Look at I know.
Pete, what is war?
Even the radio waves were altered.
Pete, what is war?
Man, I would move myself from this shit because every time I'm trying to say some shit, everybody want to talk about Pete talking, but everybody talk over.
You're trying to ask you a question.
I'm asking you a question.
I heard the question, and I'm answering her question.
Did he finish?
She was asking the same thing. So I'm just saying this, that war has happened all over this world from day one, from the beginning of time. Men have always, and women, whatever, have always wanted to conquer for resources. Ukraine and Russia. You know what I'm saying? China and Taiwan. You know what I'm saying?
Was that the question, Star?
What was that? About the strategies? Yeah, it's more stuff I wouldn't be able to go over, but there was a lot of things that was strategically put into place to not just even against the Black family, but just against poors in general. So I'm just
thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. It was always, look, Star, if you're doing business, it's war, isn't it?
Always.
Right. So what would you do strategies to benefit your opponent? Would you do strategies to benefit you?
So why you keep saying there's no war then?
And hold on, I'm
my tribe. I'm all about.
No, I mean, I'm just
yeah.
Exactly for your tribe. So what everybody was doing was for themselves.
Mm-hmm. So there was war.
Huh?
So
all I'm just saying is just maintaining and battle for it. There's no war. Okay, here's what I'm saying. I don't know of any war that was put down to say that there was a war in America that was against Black people in general, right?
They talking about before then, bro. They talking about how you got enslaved. They not talking about.
Nobody talks about that. All they said, first of all, the story is slavery came from Africa.
Was Jim Crow war?
No.
Jim Crow was a type of war. Elizabeth.
God damn.
What type of No. I got a question from the chat. Pull Elizabeth to go to the chat.
Let's just say a battle, a fight, something. God damn.
Can I finish?
We're dealing with semantics, man. But we always fighting for something. We dealing with semantics.
Everybody's fighting for something. All right, let me ask
you. He the agent.
Hold on.
He the agent.
No.
He the goddamn agent,
semantics, bro.
You show me a Black man in America that say Jim Crow.
Let me tell you this. Let me ask you this.
I'm talking to that nigga.
If I threw you in the jungle and you had to survive, would you not be at war with whatever the natural elements are?
If you can't say Jim Crow was war against Black people,
no, I'm not. No, because you want to find a war, and I'm trying to tell you there was no war. Jim Crow was just laws. It was no war. It was just laws. It was just saying you can't. It's just like saying, yo, all right, check this out.
I'm done.
Oak is from Chicago. He know about the gang life. You know what I'm saying? Crips and Bloods. Motherfuckers just can't walk in the territory. All Jim Crow was saying, yo, you can't come in my shit. That's all Jim Crow was.
Oh, no, we had gang wars, though. We had gang wars. Look,
Right.
here's the thing.
The point that I'm making is, no, everybody want to believe that there's a war, right? But when I ask to name it, they can't. Slavery.
I just named it.
That's not a war. Jim Crow is not a war. It just was a law that was written so that motherfuckers, and if anything, Jim Crow was not just against black people. They didn't want Chinese. They didn't want other motherfuckers. They didn't want Jews. They didn't even want dogs in their establishment. So you can't say it was a war against black people. Jim Crow was just basically saying, yo, you had to, whatever that law was of that land, you had to follow.
Redlining. We had redlining, that's for sure.
Even still, my point is, I'm trying to make a point. Everybody want to stick to war. If you say there was a war for slavery, then you would have to say the war happened in Africa, because that's where everybody believed it happened. Once we found out it wasn't in Africa,
none of us here believe that.
And no, everybody in school, before you read and you listened to information outside,
nobody on this panel believes that.
Yeah, but I'm saying before you research in school, did you not at one time believe all slaves came from Africa?
But we're having this conversation.
I know, but I'm asking you, did you at one time believe that?
Sure.
All right, then. So I'm saying we thought that there was a war, that motherfuckers went to Africa, raided motherfuckers, beat Shaka Zulu ass, and then said we're going to take them niggas and we're going to bring them over to America, right? So that's where the concept of there was actual war. But when we find out that didn't happen and there were just slaves in America, there's no war where you can say, yo, motherfuckers came in here and did this shit and just war with motherfuckers. Nobody got the title or the name of that war. Now you're telling me things that are other stuff, but they're not actually a war. Like you can say Civil War, the South versus the North. But that was a war. You know what I'm saying?
Why was the whole FBI created? I mean, I'm just saying, there may have not been a named war, but America has done some shady shit to other nations.
Has America done shady shit to black people?
All I'm saying is this.
Was the war on drugs a war, or just
whoever? Well, think about it. Everybody was on Nancy Reagan. Like, all I'm saying is this.
Shout out to Joe Biden.
All I'm saying is
that wasn't war either.
Look, I ain't talking all day, y'all.
The point that I'm trying to make is every man has to fight for his fucking survival. And every tribe has to fight for their survival. And when there wars before the white man came, weren't there wars with other tribes? And didn't tribes do shit to each other? So my thing is, why the fuck do we expect this to be different? And why the fuck do we expect that motherfuckers to be nice?
I don't hold nothing against no type of tribe to do what they do for their tribe. I don't even if I don't care if it was a yellow man going around dominating. I don't have no fight. I ain't got nothing for that. They doing what they feel is best for their people. I don't have nothing with that. What I'm saying is, look, I got this question because we playing with semantics. So was the war on drugs a war, or was it just saying war on drugs?
It was made up. There's no war on drugs. How you gonna put a war?
That's my point. It's just semantics, man. There's some type of
semantics mean everything. There's a meaning. There's a war. How you gonna have a war on drugs? That's how we can make up wars. That's what I'm saying. We make up wars, and I'm not always a war.
What they saying there's some action going on. There's a conflict.
All I'm saying, motherfuckers was over here.
We can play with the we executed war on China. We're officially at war with this, but some wars ain't considered wars. They drop a bomb on the country. They just drop the bomb on the country, but it's not considered a war. But we know motherfuckers is killing. Motherfuckers is going in there and getting
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the point. We're going circles with this. It's not a war.
All I'm trying to say,
what people are talking about.
But here's the thing. You want me to say, no, I can't bow down to the war shit. I'm trying to say is that our concept of war is because we want to sit here and say black man lost the shit, but then we can never specify what war did he lose.
Well, let's not say war. They lost some type of war.
No, we want black man to lose shit. I'm not with it. I'm not going. Like Oak said, I'm not going. Nobody can tell me what war we fucking lost until you can specifically say this war was declared.
I don't
Hey, I ain't gotta say what war it is. We don't have to say it's a war. They lost a fucking battle. They got
What battle did they lose?
Huh?
What battle did they lose?
Your great grandparents was a motherfucking slave. That's what they lost. They
How
lost
do
their
you know?
freedom.
Only
They lost
one
their
out-
freedom.
only
Listen,
one out-
listen,
only
listen.
one out of what?
They lost
Only
their
one out of-
freedom. They lost their
First of all, not
freedom.
all blacks were slaves.
Listen,
So let's get
they
that
lost
correct.
their
We watch
freedom.
Homicide, and we know that all blacks wasn't slaves. Before even what you would call it, hold on. There was before George Washington.
Asian black.
Okay.
Oh my
Was
God.
there more? Listen. Was there more blacks enslaved, or was there more blacks freed back then?
More blacks free.
Was more blacks free?
Yeah, 1 in 6 blacks were enslaved. That means 5 were free. So for every 6 blacks, 5 were free, 1 was enslaved. And 90-some% of the black slaves were owned by black people, and the black people that owned them 70-some% was black women. Go look up Thomas Sowell. He breaks that shit down, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of times we think this big ass shit, like we're running stories that was told. None of us existed then. And my problem is that we keep trying to create this shit like, oh, black man lost the war, like it was a real fucking war. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers probably didn't even know it was a fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? You know, so my thing is that we keep saying this shit.
No. I'm asking you questions.
Here's
I'm asking you questions because look, I'm asking you questions because look, you've been rocking all night, bro. You see, I've
been quiet, man. I put myself
up. Okay, y'all been rocking all night, so you can't get upset when I start talking.
No, I know I'm not, but
I'm asking questions.
Okay, what's your question?
I'm asking questions because I want specific dialogue, like how you bringing statistics now.
Yeah, I know, but if I'm
the whole night, listen, the whole night, people be like, the black man lost the war, but you bringing statistics based off my questions. I'm not making.
I know that, brother. I'm listening.
I'm asking questions.
Yo, hold on. I'm gonna say this. If I gotta keep answering your questions, Black, you're gonna send me a motherfucking hat and a bow tie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you now, if you got more questions, you got all year. Because I'm waiting for Joe Biden's crack pipe, and then I'm gonna have my crack pipe, and I'm gonna have a crazy.
Okay, my questions are Vaughn. According to what Pete said about the statistics, you know, this is my first time hearing them numbers. What's your reply to that? Was there more slaves as black men and black women, or was there more free?
I'm gonna bring it even further forward than that, and let's just go to the 1970s, right? The hell with what happened in 1860. 1850. Let's go to 1970. Was it across the board? Is it true that across the board that that black men had extreme opposition to gaining employment in this country?
Wait, before you do, can you answer his question? Because you didn't answer.
I agree with you. Let's just say I agree with you.
Let's just say I agree. So you agree with me or him?
I agree with you. Let's just say I agree with you and your statistics. So I don't have anything to refute. So I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to say in 1950, 1960. Let's just go 1930, 40, 50, 60, 70, right? Is it true that black men across the board, pick a state, any state, that we had more opposition to employment than any other ethnic group? Is that true? There's your war. There's war on your progress.
Economic.
Period.
It's not just physical war.
That's all.
I don't know, man, because my moms and my pops came from out this country. They were able to get jobs. And it may not been the pleasant jobs, wasn't probably the best level of employment, but my father came from Trinidad and he became the 3rd level accountant for Channel 7. My mom's been a word processor at the company since she had me, and she worked for a firm that serviced lawyers, and she only had a high school degree. Before that, when she first came in the country, she was wiping ass because she was working back then, like CNA type shit. So, no one. All I'm saying is all the black men I knew had jobs.
Does that negate my analogy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Does that negate my analogy?
Does it what?
Does that negate? Do your anecdotal references negate my analogy?
Say that like what anecdotal?
In other words, what I asked, the question that I posed, across the board, was it common for black men to face more opposition than any other demographic? Pick a decade.
I don't think
1910,
so,
20,
because
30,
that's
40,
when
50, 60,
affirmative action came in.
That helped white women and black women.
Thank you.
That didn't help y'all at all.
Yeah.
That didn't help y'all.
I don't know. Is there anybody else that disagrees with what I just said?
I'm saying, but we also had employment in the streets, right? We had drug dealers.
That's how y'all.
Job is a job that was under the table. Work is work. Shit. And what about white men? How many white men? Like, here's the thing: we only talk about black men, right? As if they face poverty or they face obstacles. You know how many white men didn't work? You know how many white men didn't have shit? You know what I'm saying?
A whole lot.
White men. And nobody could, until you could give me fucking specific data and be like this, that everything you asking me is opinion. None of it comes with any data stating factual numbers to say this was the opposition. Here's the thing. I think we create our own bullshit for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, everybody got to where they had to get to based on whatever work they put in or not. You know what I'm saying? That's
so.
And you can easily put it like this.
Where's my resume?
It's easy to create these scenarios. You know what I'm saying?
So Star, Oak, and Black. Do you agree with that black men have not faced more opposition in this country in the 1910, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70? Do you agree with Pete that we did not face more opposition than other demographics of men?
That's the book.
I'm asking them.
I know it's funny. I got to order that book for my son.
I just bought some copies for my sons, and this is Reginald Lewis.
The man.
And
you don't know who that is? Reginald Lewis, White Boys Can't Have All the Fun. He was like the first billionaire. He made a major deal. I forgot what it started with, like supermarkets and shit. And he just was like that dude. So, what era was that?
Oh gosh, he passed away in the early 90s. So this 90s. Was
in the 70s. There was opportunity. Nikki, do you know how much
opportunity didn't exist, bro? That wasn't my question.
But the reason why the reason why I brought him up is because he faced a lot of obstacles based on his skin color. He did, but his spirit, he did not give up. He was very persistent. He was the first person to get into Harvard without having to take a test. I'm just saying he wasn't even supposed to be there.
He had to be accepted.
But see, that's not what Vine is saying. Vine's not saying there were no opportunities. Vine ain't saying that people done gave up. He's saying but there's more talent.
It's in the book.
Okay, here's my question.
He faced obstacles.
No, here's my question. Hold
on.
He faced obstacles of the white boys.
He's asking, do the panel agree or disagree with him or Pete that black men in America have faced more obstacles than other races of men, or have they not? That's what he asked.
Absolutely.
We're saying strictly since the 1970s, right?
No, I'm saying pick a decade.
He said pick a decade.
Pick a decade from 1900 all the way, let's just say up to 1980. Any decade. Has there been any decade where black men have not faced more opposition than other demographics of men?
I don't believe that they have. Here's the thing, but for different reasons than Pete. Here's the thing. Chicago is the second most racist city in America, but number one has to be Boston, right? When Boston was having busing riots, race riots, and some of the crackiest crackers you could ever find in America, I went out to Boston. This had to be 1992. When we first got to Boston, I'm with a group of married men. Sorry, my throat dry. And the first thing I saw when we got to Boston was a black dude crack a white dude over the head with a brick. That was my introduction to Boston. Then the second introduction was I went to McDonald's and asked for a pop. And she said, where you from? I said, Chicago. She was like, oh shit, you want some pussy? And roll her number on the back of the receipt. That's when I found out Chicago dudes get pussy everywhere. But then we go out to the suburb of Boston, outside of the city. It started with a P, but I can't think of the name of it. Every white guy I talked to, every single one, offer me a job. Every single one guy told me this is the most racist city in America. One white guy told me he worked for either Kodak or Polaroid. I can't remember which one was in Boston. But he said, man, you ain't got to go back to Chicago, bro. You too smart for that. Man, we'll put you, I'll help you get an apartment. I'll get you a job. I'll deduct from your check, you know what I'm saying, until I get my money back. But you too smart to be just out here, being out here. So I say that to say this. When men want to get shit done, men do shit. I have a very big problem when I tell black men, yo, y'all complaining about the police, but it only costs $26 a week for us to have our own police force. So you ain't got to worry about the white boys cracking your head on your own block.
When did you learn that?
Because I know math and I know how much police get paid.
No, I said, when did you learn about being able to do that?
I don't know, about a decade ago. I've been posting this shit on Facebook for like a decade. Like, fuck these bitches and get your own pistols. The reason that Chinatown, I'm gonna just say this. When they tell me that it can't be done, I said Chinatown had them lower the height restriction so agents can police Chinatown, which black women took advantage of, white women too, which women took advantage of because they smaller than men. So since they lowered the height and the carry criteria, women could get in because I guess Asian men the size of a woman. But all of these things happen when men want to protect their own shit. Niggas just want to complain about shit. You know what I'm saying? There is no time in which you can tell me that niggas is really getting money. Everybody balling according to Instagram, and nobody can be like, you know what? I'm gonna follow a man with a plan. Because all they want to do is get pussy. They're like, I made it out the hood. There's no, the fact that people think they made it when they leave the place in which they grew up in just shows how shitty the place they grew up in is. There's a book written by a Irish dude. I read this shit, that book like 500 pages, but I had time. And I read this book, it was fiction. But I read this book and it was about a politician in Boston, like a immigrant group came out from Ireland to Boston, and it's 500 pages. I ain't gonna go through all 500 pages, but the thing that really caught my attention the most, because like they rose the ranks and got into politics and sold drugs, prohibition shit. The thing I remember most about that is when the Irish move, because when black people come in, it's white flight, but when white people come back, it's gentrification. That's the way niggas rebrand shit. But anyway, when the white people left, the dude came back to his old community in the 1960s. Just for that reminiscing, the playground, the park where he played in when he was a kid. He said all he saw was litter, graffiti, people double parked next to a parking spot. And the whole book was about the Irish. It was not a racial tone in the book until this one line when he said, fucking niggers moved in and they can't keep shit clean. Why can't they use a garbage can? Damn. So that is indicative of a culture. That is a culture of chaos. I listen to these boomers. I listen to these chicks. Boomers and women both childless to me. And all they talk about is chaos. They normalize the chaos. They create new norms. Everything that's structural, they don't like. They want their kids to be the most educated motherfuckers in the world, to the smart motherfucker come back home and tell them that, yo, pops, yo, moms, this ain't that. Boy, get out of here. We ain't gonna change shit. And then they create the culture that they hate because they hate themselves. That's why I don't give a fuck about these shit. I'm not gonna love people more than they love themselves. That's absolutely fucking impossible.
I say that all the time too.
I'm not gonna make nobody happy. Motherfuckers, I want a man to make me happy. I'm not gonna make you happy. I can keep you happy.
Do you think
make you happy?
Do you think that property values going down as a result of the ethnic group that lives in a certain area?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked that. Can I answer this one now?
Yeah, let me finish the question. I don't want you to answer it first. I would like to come around to you, but I would like for Star to hit it first, and then maybe Black, because you hear from them the least. But the question is, do you think that the property value is being decreased based on the ethnic group that lives in that area? Do you think that that's a form of racism?
Oh, absolutely, it is. Absolutely. I mean, I'm in the real estate industry, and it's funny because if you look, you know, I can't say that is currently happening in my market anywhere. I mean, the people that I put in homes, it was pretty diverse. But yes, it has happened, and you can look back on certain documents, and you can even see that it was a law at certain points. So and the value of family, it is going down only because people are engaged in these squares, media, TV, everything that they're inputting. I mean, I know it sounds, you know, like, well, you can't blame TV, right? But your eyes are very powerful. Your eyes are very powerful. So whatever people are taking in, they're going to just release it. The music's shitty. What they're showing, the relationship dynamics on TV is horrible. My husband and I, we don't show these shows to our children because we don't want them to get confused. Right. He's sitting right here with me. He's vouching for it. Like, we don't want them to think anything different than what we're teaching. So we don't, you know, we play Monopoly. It's just certain things that we do as a family. And you know, I don't even deal with people that don't value family. So
you have to shield them against the messages that the media is offering?
I really do. I do. My daughter's my Facebook memory today was me saying that my daughters will run to the radio if they hear anything like with Cardi B or Megan. They'll run to the radio and turn it off. They hate it. They can't handle it. They're like, "Oh my God, mommy, I can't handle it." And it's, I don't ever put it on. It may be accident, but they can't. They don't like that shit. Anything degenerate, my daughters don't like that shit at all. And their father's strict. So all I'm saying is just the way we run our house, we don't, you know, we give them a lot of love, and we, that family value shit, I see it around us. Now, I do know good families, but I connect with them. How they raise their children. Some are even single mothers. Some are families. Some are all different nationalities, colors. I connect with people that hold the same value as us. Period. And I'm all for our blackness. My husband, we teach our children to love themselves. We, you know, we natural in here, but I connect with the like-minded. The white people, they don't claim their hillbilly cousins. They don't claim them. You don't see them really commingling like that. I don't commingle with degeneracy. That shit might be contagious.
What about you, Black? You're on mute. I think you muted, Black.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shortly, I'm just gonna say it short. That I say yes and no. You know, yes, in the beginning, you know, there were some laws and policies in place that contribute to that factor. You know, I would say later that in our dysfunction and how we operate, and you could say culture or whatever, or the foundation, or what led to what's now, or whatever you want to call it, that we tear up shit, value's gonna go down. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And people gonna attach a look to the action, whether they got it from their father saying it is racist, or they just see who's doing it. You see what I'm saying? So that's just the reality.
That's all I'm saying.
Can I answer now?
Sure.
So, no, I don't. It's not because of others. It's because of themselves. And I'm gonna give you two examples. The first here being in Atlanta, right? Go to the west side of Atlanta, right? I hear people talk about, oh, the city don't put money into this, da 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 da. But the streets are fine. You know what I'm saying? It is the houses that are dilapidated. But that's not on the government. That's on the homeowner. Think about it. West End, I'm in Pittsburgh, so I'm part of the West End. You know what I'm saying? These homes turned into trap houses, crack houses, not because the government didn't fund it. Government can't fund private property. Yeah. Only public property, which is public housing, right? So what happened? Grandma and them bought that house for $30,000, paid that shit off. She done had her daughter, well, all them damn kids, and her son selling dope. The same niggas that got rims on their car blowing stacks at the strip club wouldn't put a roof on grandma's house. Shit leaking with holes. The whole block looked like that. Motherfuckers ain't care. Motherfuckers ain't cutting their grass. None of that. You know what I'm saying? They're not even going to their politicians who get money. Every neighborhood gets funding. Mm-hmm. Every neighborhood. It's just where the funding goes. Do they go to their aldermen? Do they meet with the city staff?
They don't know the city.
They don't give a fuck about that.
Can I briefly interrupt real quick? Because I agree. No. I agree with everything you just said, but that wasn't the question.
No, you did. You just asked. You asked the question was about real estate. Is it devalued because of others, or is it devalued because of us? And I'm telling you, primarily is because of us.
No.
And,
okay. Well, again, I agree with every point that you just made, but my question was, was there a time where blackness alone, your presence in the neighborhood, I ain't talking about dilapidated nothing, I'm talking about black people being in the neighborhood. Was there a time where that alone devalued the neighborhood? That was the question.
Okay, but hold on, let me take the swing, man, because you're always going to push the envelope. You're going to ask a question, and if you don't,
the original question.
No, it wasn't the original questions. We could rewind this and show that it wasn't, and bring it up on the next show. The thing is,
answer your question, yes, there was a time in which if you brought in another ethnic group to a neighborhood, that it will lower the value of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
The reason that it will lower the value of the neighborhood could be called racism because that started white flight, but a lot of it was a byproduct of the culture that came with it. One black family buying a house in a white neighborhood did not denote the downfall of a neighborhood. A black community regentrifying a neighborhood did bring it down because the culture is bad.
Yep.
You put in bad, you get out bad. If a book is telling me in 1960 that all niggas do is litter when they have the opportunity to get because all this public housing wasn't for black people. So when black people don't have to pay shit, they don't give a fuck about shit. They have no sense of ownership. But they have no sense of ownership in the nation. They don't feel they're American. They just black, but they use all American benefits.
I've seen black people tear down. I'm gonna see that. I've been in homes. I've been in real estate. I've been in mortgage lender. I've been in commercial. And I can tell you, black people fuck they shit up.
Yeah.
And mostly the reason why value, when we say why does it deplete the fucking value, the value starts off first of all based on the demographics of income. You know what I'm saying? People with money tend to buy out, right? I'm using Atlanta, right? West End, before the shit was being gentrified, was a piece of shit. Motherfuckers went to Alpharetta and was buying houses at 400, 500,000. Now, if you buy a house in Alpharetta, you are not getting nothing less than $900,000 if you are fucking lucky. Hold on.
Here's can I say something that
let me say this real quick,
all right.
There was a time where, you know, in this country where back in the day where we didn't have the resources like white folks. So there was a time to where white folks can be like, I don't want these niggas in my neighborhood. I don't want to move into that nigga in that neighborhood, right? And so if a black person so happen to move in that white neighborhood, the white people are like, this shit is devalued. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't going to stop here.
My family was those niggas.
Listen. We ain't gonna want to shop here. We ain't gonna want to buy here. So,
but here's
with business wise, they gonna prefer to do the economics.
But even the economics is not right exactly, because when black people bought houses from white people, they paid more than market value to be around white people. That's not what devalued the market. What devalued the market, and I know motherfuckers hate me saying this, is fucking single mothers. If you show me a chick who don't pay for shit, I'll show you a fucked up crib in a fucked up neighborhood.
Facts.
There are black neighborhoods. There's a black community right outside of Cleveland. It's not in Cleveland, it's a suburb of Cleveland. It's all black, all upper middle class people, manicured lawns, beautiful homes. You know why? Because they pay for their shit. And you appreciate what you pay for.
Yep.
When you get all these chicks in, they don't know who they alderman is, and they don't give a shit because they transient houses anyway. They're gonna come in, let they sons fuck up everything, moving, and then they're gonna go somewhere else and fuck up something else.
White folks did capitalize off black people moving to a white neighborhood. But if he's talking about the area, he's talking about in a black area.
I've seen that before.
Black area can sustain its value. The value is not in the house price. The value is in the community. If your community ain't shit, the black people that got money, that moved up in the upper class,
Listen.
the reason why they could afford to pay
Back then, white folks
more than
don't
the asking
spend
price.
no big money to move
They
in
was
no black
tired of
area.
nigga shit.
No black area.
They was tired of nigga shit. The reason why the nigga moved from West End Atlanta was because he was tired of the fucking drugs, and he made more than
You
enough.
talking about
I'm talking about it happened everywhere. I'm just
about-
using Atlanta for an example. Anywhere you go,
You talking about
Yeah,
Martin
right.
Luther,
look
Yeah,
at
you
the movie.
talking
Look at the
about
movie.
before
You know what?
then.
Look at the movie The Banker, right?
You talking about
And
Martin
Anthony
Luther.
Mackie, what you call it, and it broke it down. The well-to-do blacks were tired of the fucking non-to-do blacks. They were fucking up shit.
Yeah,
Why
okay.
would you be there making X amount of dollars to be in that fucking area of crime, of drugs, of all of this shit?
Right.
So the reason why they moved out, it wasn't just because maybe white people, they just wanted to be safer. They were tired of shootouts. They were tired of break-ins. They were tired of this, that, and the third. This is why white folks even move from their own motherfuckers. This
Okay.
is why they leave the trailer park
Right.
and
They
they go
leave
buy
that
an
shit.
Alpharetta because they know $1 million is gonna keep your ass out. That
And-
is even
And that's facts. And not only that, when they
It's kinda
want
like
to
what you're talking
when they
about.
want to drop the value of your neighborhood, they send in black mamas. This is just facts.
Again,
Right
you
now-
guys are still talking about something a little different from.
No,
from
okay, check this out.
I
In
get where you're
Chicago,
going, and I don't disagree with any of that.
Before
In
they
Chicago.
started tearing up a neighborhood, black
Thank you.
neighborhoods always been low value.
Thank you.
Being in that.
no, but hold on.
That's all I'm saying right there.
No.
We weren't always tearing neighborhoods. All black people
They
ain't
weren't
always
low.
tearing.
They weren't low value. They were low cost. When the dentist also lived next to the neighborhood general practitioner who lived next to the mechanic, everybody kept their grass cut. Now they houses might only been 20,000 when another house in a white neighborhood had been 35 for the same house, but it was a neighborhood. As soon as people got tired of these motherfuckers shit and they moved out, you moved out the taxpayer dollars, but more than that, you moved out everybody with expertise. And not only that, you changed the culture to women raising kids to not want their kids to have expertise or to find somebody with expertise.
What's the difference? What's the difference between low value and low cost? I look up value right now. It says it's increased in dollars. It's increased in dollars is one definition. There's many definitions.
Housing. I'm gonna break it down in housing.
What's the difference between low cost and low value?
Okay, low cost is this. My brother bought his house in Inglewood, California for roughly $200,000, right? Low cost. He paid what it was cost to build it, plus whatever the profit that the builder made or whatever the original homeowner. Right now, that house, I'll ask Star in Inglewood, how much
Doing
that
war
house
versus fight again.
in California will go for right now.
Oh my. Oh goodness. I'm actually in the Northern California area, but it would go for the very least 700, 600, 700.
Thank you.
So
very
you look at the value on the
hold on. I'm trying to break it down for you. Real estate.
It can be increased.
Low cost is the cost that it costs him to buy in, right? My brother did well. He's an airplane mechanic. He works for FedEx for 20-something years. You know what I'm saying? Top school, Embry-Riddle, all of that shit. Trust me, he's well. You know what I'm saying? He bought that house at 200. That's low cost, right? Value is over time. It increases in value. So that's the difference between cost and value. So in the black neighborhoods, when they were building the houses, just like they were low cost in suburban areas, you know what I'm saying? Everybody bought the house, 20, 30,000. This is why grandma had that house and it was 20, 30,000. You hear it all the time. And on minimum wage, they could afford it. What happened is over time, that house gains value based on certain things. People with a certain income move in certain places. It's just inevitable. They buy their way out of poverty. You know what I'm saying? Right? And Star can attest, she's a real estate agent. Motherfuckers ain't buying a $1.5 million house so a Pookie or Ray Ray could live next to them. They buy that shit so they want to even move far away from the middle class. Some motherfuckers don't even want middle class. They
the middle class got too many broke because they think they black. Here's
I'm
to
not
me.
even talking about just Pookie and Ray Ray.
Well, I'm just giving an example. I'm saying, so here's the thing, Vaughn. I'm telling you about the housing market. You just think it's because they just devalue. You can't devalue that shit. It is only the people that dare can devalue it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, that's what I want to go with.
The same house is prime real estate. My buddy bought right here in Summerhill down the block from me. You know what I'm saying? He got lucky. He bought in at 300,000. Year later, the shit is 600,000.
Yeah.
There is proof, though, that appraisals, there is proof. A lot of people want to debunk it, but it's still happening. And actually, Wells Fargo just got dinged again for the discrimination with home loans. So it's still these things still happen. Believe me, I worked for Wells Fargo before. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I didn't experience.
I have to. Here's the flip side of that, though. I had a black appraiser that gave me the number I was looking for.
Just to get to the basic ass point that this shit is real.
No, but the real part is no. But even the real part is cultural. Here's the thing. The reason that you can increase value on something, no, for real. The reason you can increase value on something.
I just want a little bit saying there's something there, but people acting like it's just not.
No. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. Either you build cultural buildings that increase your value, right? Or the people increase or decrease the value. There are places that you want to move because the neighbors are coming from Chicago. When I went to South Dakota, and I woke up one day at 1 a.m. and it's a motherfucker in the crib, and I'm ready to. This motherfucker's in the kitchen scrambling eggs. Talking about you hungry, and they was like, "Yo," they had a culture of it's so safe you don't even have to lock your doors, even though he was stealing sausage. But you know what I'm saying? That's the culture. The neighbors make the culture, and then you put cultural buildings in. You increase none of those points. You increase all that. So then you turn around and you have a culture of women who are horrible mothers, and they send their kids to school, and the kids don't even know how to spell their name or count to 10. So that devalues the school in the neighborhood. Yeah. And they take the best and brightest kids, send them to the white schools because.
Can I ask you a question? Hold on. Can I ask you a question? What's his favorite color?
I don't know.
Look,
I'm saying, what's the kid's favorite color? What you ask?
Oh, the kid favorite color? Car.
Hey, is there such thing as sundown town? was there ever such thing as sundown town?
There's still a sundown. It's a sundown town in Illinois.
You know, Illinois had the most sundown towns of any state in the country.
Yeah, racist shit.
In 1980.
And I'm shocked because I thought Indiana would have us beat, but yeah.
So hold on now. So let me ask you this then. If we got all these sundown towns, and Illinois had like over 400 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And I might get the numbers, I might have the numbers wrong, but across the United States, there were hundreds of towns that said, you know, don't let the sun hit your black ass. Don't let the sun go down on your black ass. So I'm asking you.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, is that racism?
Yes, but everywhere's racist. Go to Chinatown and see if the sun touch your black ass. There's a lot of places that don't want y'all niggas fucking with them. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm just trying to figure out where
let me ask you like this: white boy walking down a black street.
No. Hold on. Before you do that, I'm trying to ask you that.
When he get his ass served,
I'm trying to establish whether or not racism.
You're the white lawyer.
No, I'm trying to be like we always want to. You know what? Here's the thing.
No. I'm trying to establish. All I'm going to establish is there
everybody but the single black?
I know you want to defend white people to the fullest of your ability. What I'm trying to find out is, was there a time in this country up to 1980? Let's just stop at 1980 because we're talking about starting from scratch since 1980, right? So up to 1980, was there a consistent time where black people faced enormous opposition compared to their non-black counterparts? That's all I'm trying to establish.
Is there a time in history from 1980 before or since that black people said, I'm gonna take care of me and mine?
See, there you go. Again, that's not what I'm talking about.
But that comes from quit saving these homes. No. That comes from, because here's the thing. When they give money to black. You think you a man, but you a black. So you got to get the black money. But they give the black money to the woman to give to the black community because y'all just the blacks. Y'all a monolith.
That's right.
So when the blacks get the money, bitches ain't giving up shit. So she keep all the money and say, what your broke ass gonna do? So now that money gone. See, go to the pastor. The pastor get the federal money. Say, what's your black ass gonna do? We gave you a soup kitchen, and then that money gone. So now you just stuck with the only niggas that's really feeding other niggas is the Pookies and the Ray Rays that everybody seem to hate. Even if it's an underground trade, they the only niggas employing you.
I agree with all
the car washes and laundromats and shit. They the only niggas employing the motherfuckers. And you be like, oh, I can't believe niggas love Pookies and Ray Ray. They the only ones trapped up.
I agree with all that.
Although I was jabbing at you, Pete. Although I was jabbing at you, Pete, I get what you're saying. You just basically saying it's time for blacks not to be having all these excuses.
Yeah,
I get you.
Look, it's not. Look, I say that it's not our fault. I mean, it's not our fault, but it's still our responsibility. There's no question that we still got to do what we got to do. But again, if you're talking about how we got to where we are right now, you can't just throw all of that out. You
don't have to throw it out. It's a part of your history. Let me ask you a question. You
can't act like even though insurance is the biggest way that wealth is transferred from one generation to the next, even though insurance is the largest way that wealth is transferred from one generation to the next, that black folk generation after generation were not getting cheated out of their insurance policy.
You know what's funny about that? You know what's funny about that? Most men have health insurance. You know who needs to go on fucking GoFundMe to get their kid buried? Single moms.
Was I incorrect in that statement I just made, though?
No, but here's the thing. I hear what you're saying, and I don't even think that's the biggest wealth transfer. The biggest wealth transfer is housing, really. But let's say that was the biggest wealth transfer.
Insurance was the biggest for the longest time. Insurance was the biggest wealth transfer. So my question is, was there a consistent thing where black folk were getting cheated out of being able to pass down life insurance? That's the question.
How so? Because the policy man used to come to your house. So how so?
Man, suicide, ruling death of suicide, even though you were lynched. Was that not a thing?
That is a thing.
Oh,
that happened.
You still could have took it to civil court.
All right, y'all. We gotta wrap this up, y'all. We gotta wrap this up.
I know y'all want to fight so hard for your mans and all them, but I just want to make my point. That's all.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up, y'all.
Yeah, man, we've been on for hours.
What's going on, internet land? It's the Fly Bowtie Guy coming live to you to send a reminder to donate to these gentlemen that's giving their time and passion. We're gonna come with some great guests in the future for you guys to entertain you guys and have a good time. And I want to have these guys motivated and give them their best. I want to continue to do these lives for the future. So if you enjoy this show and you want more lives, donate at Tribe Power and show some love. Enjoy the show.
Word.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Good show, man.
Yeah. Where can they find you at, Lauren?
You can email me if you want to email me for my services. My website is theconditionsoflove.com. You can email me at info@theconditionsoflove.com, or you can follow me here on social media at Von Says. That's my Facebook page, and The Love Alchemist is my my Facebook. Yeah, my private page is Von Says. My page is The Love Alchemist.
All right. Looks like Dirty Folks and Star said she had to go cook. Looks like Dirty Folks gone.
Oh yeah, I forgot Skyler. She 3 hours behind.
Dirty Folks. Dirty Folks. Dirty Folks. No
Where can they find you, Pete?
Facebook Causing Havoc. I'm in the middle of trying to create my second page, and I got to go through a whole lot of whatever. And my patience be thin with that shit. So for right now, I'm on here. If you want to catch me, I'm on here live with, the Fly Bowtie Guy. You know what I'm saying? AKA Mr. Black, AKA the French Connection. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for right now until I get some other shit going.
Rilla Pete TV's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. Believe that. So
yeah, this question.
It was a pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
And this question, the Fly Bowtie Guy. I want to say you can find me on Facebook. Of course, you can find me here. Facebook, Wesley Black. I'm getting my Twitter going. I've been having it, but I've never been active on it. Find me there at Quessy Folks. Instagram, I think it's at Nagasi Black. I really don't be on there much, and I'm about to start getting active on there too. I've been having it for a while, but never really active. I'm mostly a Facebook dude. I'm really just now doing YouTube. I had my YouTube channel for a while, but I just really never been that active unless I was marketing here and there. So yeah, I'm about to start being more active in all them places. You can find me there, and if you want to get some of the merch, I got Black Wealth Matters Close the Gap merch. You can find it on the Teespring in the description. My wife's book, Position Your Man to Win. If you want to grab that, you can do that on Amazon. I will have the links in the description as well. And I also, if the fellows want me to, I will post anything they got to offer in the description too. That's it, y'all. I appreciate everybody coming out. It wouldn't be a show without you guys. So I thank you. I thank the people who donated previously to the Cash Apps. Make sure you do it at Tribe Power so we can have these guys motivated to continue doing the show. You know, they give them their time, 3 hours. They could be doing something else. But show some love, y'all. Y'all got anything else before we go?
Salute everybody. Appreciate everybody chiming in. You know what I'm saying? Keep it going. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. My
right.
book.
Oh yeah, he got his book too.
There you
The
go.
Hard Work book. Me and my wife wrote that book together. The Hard Work book.
Make sure you send me that link. Make sure you send me that link so I can put it in the description.
All right, I will. I'll put it in there.
All right.
I see the chess pieces on your book. Quay, you play chess?
Oh yeah, we need to play sometimes.
What you call chess with friends? You don't play chess, right, Ron?
Not much. I ain't that good at it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played in a while. Yeah, I need to get back into it though.
I'm on chess with friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I play on there. I'm playing on that too. I'll send you.
Yeah, send me a request. You play. Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Thanks,
Frederick. We out.
One.